baby.
What's up, everybody? We live with American Cholo.
The worst news ever. What's going on? I know it is a Saturday night, and y'all are not accustomed to typically seeing us on a Saturday night, but we had to. We had to make this happen. You feel me?
Hell yeah.
When you got high-powered homies like this, you feel me? That are.
I'm just a civilian, fool. I'm just a family guy, homie.
Real solid individual. Real solid member of the YouTube Yarda.
Man, we run that shit, homie. We run that shit. Yeah, if I would have known, I would have brought my fucking legs all tan, homie. That shit's all fucking. Look at the camera. Well, they ain't no worse than yours.
Next to mine.
Yeah, ain't no worse than yours.
Yeah, you look. Yeah.
And I do look like the police people, but it's because it's bright in here, homie.
Yeah,
it's bright in here. What's up, Lush? How you doing, players?
Great to see you, Big Rick in the building as well. Of
what up, y'all? Chilling.
I mean, you feel me? We appreciate all y'all choosing to spend your Saturday evening with us. It's a lot going on in the community. Apparently earlier, though, everyone knows about the Kendrick Lamar live performance, but they don't know about American Cholo live earlier today doing karaoke.
Oh wow, yeah, the karaoke, homie. You know what my karaoke song is?
What is your karaoke song?
You won't believe it, bro.
The streets been.
You won't believe it, bro. Sweet Home Alabama, homie.
No.
Sweet Home Alabama. Hell
yeah.
Oh, Sweet Home. Sweet, they already know. My wife, everybody knows Sweet Home Alabama. That is my karaoke song, homie.
That's the one.
That's the one. So now they call me more of a sellout. We know he's a fucking sellout. That's something people want to just talk shit to right away. Hey, but I got a question for you,
and it's
bro.
not a Canoga Park reference either, by the way.
No. hey, why is it, Rick, that all the vatos that are on benders and be going on booze fucking things, right? Uh-huh. I always see them with like the high quality water when they're acting like they're fucking little santitos or Compa Raider or walking with this big old water jug. And when I see that, like, these motherfuckers, fool.
I think the thought is that the more high quality the water, the faster the cleanse to get back on the bed.
That's what it is, right?
There it is.
But when I see that's a sign like,
this one has 9.5 alkaline, he told me, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so tomorrow you're good to go again, right?
Exactly. Not even tomorrow, tonight, fool.
I thought it said 9.5 alcohol.
Oh, okay.
This is break time, fool. Yeah. When you see that, like, they had a good night last night, homie. Is there a method to that?
As far as
buying $10 fucking thing of water?
Balance. I think with this right here, it's it is the illusion of, okay, you've spent this much money on the detriment of your own body. How are you gonna maintain it? You got to put in the equivalent.
That's right. So what's good with you, man?
Everything's going crazy right now. So much has changed since the last time we sat down.
Yeah, for sure. You've been doing the podcast thing. You and Compa have been. You guys are make up to break up. That's all. That's a song, right? That's these guys are here, bro.
Then you hate me. That's a game.
For Compa and you.
Shit. To be honest, the issue is never.
Shout out to Compa Raider, bud.
It's my brother Raider. There's no issue between us whatsoever. You know what I mean? It's I think Raider
between big Perriques and little Perriques. No.
Yeah. Well, the thing about Raider,
Hey, I saw. I didn't watch it, but I saw it said Compa retired from podcast. Is he retired right now?
He's on hiatus.
He's left the building. He's like Elvis, bro. But Compa has left the building.
But like based on my conversations with him, I don't know how long that's gonna last.
Yeah, pretty much.
I think that
it's one of those when people say, "I'm not gonna go on social media anymore."
Yeah,
he's down 10 bottles of alkaline water. He'll be back.
Like, there you go. Yeah. Send him a case, fool. Send him a case. I'll be back. Perritz.
We need the Essentia sponsorship. You feel me? Like, come on.
All right, so he's on hiatus right now, huh?
He's on a hiatus, and I think the thing about Raider is he's one of those people that is very singular minded, and I think that's enabled him to have great success because it's the same thing that the addictive personality is equivalent to that of a fire hose. You know what I mean? And if you can direct that properly
somewhere,
you know what I mean?
Yeah, but you guys are poisoning with each other, bro.
I think at times.
No.
At times.
You guys are you guys are both yangs or both yin. There ain't no yin yang. Yin yang usually got one that's kind of sobered out. You guys are the guys that'll fucking say, "Hey, you want to do this?" Instead of having a guy, "Hey, fool, nah, we gotta work tomorrow. We gotta go to No Jump, or we gotta go meet Rick over here." You guys are the guys that say, "Fuck it, let's do it."
Well, me being the voice of reason.
You're the voice of reason.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, fuck.
Which is terrifying.
You're the voice
The
of
voice
reason.
of reason to yes,
Absolutely.
let's do a bolsita, no, I'm good. I'm
You're
not
the
fucking
voice
around
of reason,
today.
fool.
Of the two of us,
You're
1,000%.
the angel and he's the devil.
1,000%.
Oh, Jesus. We got problems over here, brother.
That's the issue. You feel me? Like,
But the issue is that no
That's
matter
the
how
issue.
big or little the bro he is, he doesn't want to say no.
All right.
I'm not. I have very little self-control, admittedly, when it comes to partying.
Right.
And if there's somebody around me, you know what I mean?
Well,
that wants to party. Like
You're gonna party,
I'm not one to turn down a good time.
especially when you're not paying for it.
I'm not going to
Lush,
turn up.
especially when you're not paying for it.
It doesn't.
It's not
really,
even about paying for it, bro.
Yeah.
But to me, you know why I had to stop partying, bro? Like that. Like just in general. It's like just partying like that. You know when we say partying, right? The voice.
Yeah.
The next day you're done, bro. Like let's say I partied yesterday, I wouldn't be here today. I'm feeling like shit the next day. In other words, all that good time you thought you had that night before, you're paying it twice the next day, or or you're not working. I've gone to work so fucking hungover before, but like I'm like, I can't do this shit no more, dude. My body, it hurts, bro.
It does, and I think like for me, my routine in those situations is gonna be to like not. In order to avoid even feeling that, I'll just keep it going. And then that day where I would be recovering, you feel me, drinking my 9.5 pH water, it's smacking me upside the head. And I'm just still partying and partying and partying. And then like today, I just woke up and then my body was like, you've done enough. You need to chill.
You never find yourself like, I can't breathe. And on that trip, bro, I've done that. Oh, I can't.
Of course, it's happened. Of course, you know what I mean. Like I think that
Nothing major.
Nothing major several times. I mean, I've overdosed multiple times.
Oh, jeez, fool.
Yeah, I used to like.
And none of those times have you ever thought like, okay, this is where I have to stop.
Well, since I didn't do drugs or drink for 3.5 years.
Is that how clean you were for that long?
That's how clean I was. So like during that period.
So what was the thing what was the relapse moment, bro?
And it was right around the time
when you left No Jump and all that.
I went on this podcast and it was in North Hollywood. And
not with me, bro. Not with me.
No, but it was around that time.
Oh, I could see that.
It was right around that time. Oddly enough,
I could see that.
Coincidentally, no, I can't. I think that at a certain point, I woke and I've said this multiple times. I woke up and I looked at where my life was, and at the time I was very unhappy. You know what I mean? Like I felt like all the things that I had gained financially, as far as
just life-wise, like
life-wise,
trust with everybody,
exactly. It was kind of gone at that moment. I had lost it again in sobriety. Hit this other bottom, and was like,
no, it's because sobriety's sometimes boring, bro.
It was.
It's
sure,
boring.
It's boring.
And what I've seen with people like yourself that have like let's say issues sometimes with it. Let's stay sober, right?
Yeah.
It usually starts with the alcohol. It's like, I could drink some beer, bro. Ain't no big deal. You know, you could.
Yep.
And then eventually somebody busts something out like, oh, well, fuck it. I'm feeling good. Let's do it.
Right.
And you can't, there is no limit.
There's no, and the thing is, like, when I got sober this most recent time, and I was sober for that longest I've been in my entire life, I drank the Jim Jones Kool-Aid willingly. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I fully committed to
the program and everything.
Committed and submitted to the sobriety lifestyle to the point where I kind of had convinced myself that I was incapable
of doing it again.
Of ever getting faded again.
Really?
If I have one drink, if I fucking smell some tequila, if I puff a joint, I will be in the fucking crack house by this afternoon. You know what I'm saying? Like, doing meth off of a dirty sink. And
but that happens a lot. A lot of time when people get sober, and they get sober for a while, and they go back, they do it harder, bro.
They come back 10 times harder.
Yeah, and that's the scary thing.
You gotta give it to him, because when he was sober, he was around this shit left and right, and he was really able to say no. But I feel where he's coming from. He was the only one saying no. Everybody else was having a good ass time around him, you know?
It definitely wasn't an issue of peer pressure. And sobriety, to me, was equivalent to a certain degree of spiritual fitness and intention. And if I'm putting this intention into sobriety, like, you know what I mean? I could go anywhere.
Let me ask you this. If there was a magic pill you could take that would make you not have any
pill, now you're speaking my language.
No,
baby.
if there was a magic pill you could take that would take all that craving away of alcohol, booze, of dope, anything, would you take it?
That is a crazy question right there. Because the obvious answer is like, yes, of course, right?
But you hesitated so much for
because I don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I could genuinely say I'm at a point in my life where I'm more content, more financially stable, you know, got my relationship, have all these things, and I'm not attributing that to my drug use, but I do attribute that to.
Yeah, but I heard you didn't show up somewhere today.
I did not go to the No Jumper store earlier.
So to me,
that was deep.
That's the blanket statement of somebody who's getting high all the time and saying everything's going well, this and that. But
that's true.
I think though. The way I think you can really value and see how good you are doing life is how your relationship is with your family.
Yeah.
And I don't know how it is, but I'm just saying how you relate, because that will dictate what's going on. If you got moms or whoever, hey, really concerned about you, like, fuck. Whereas I'm sure when you were sober, their concern was more like, I just hope he doesn't get high. I hope he doesn't get high.
Yeah, no, they like, and right now, like, I'm very close with my family, but I've been avoiding them.
Of course.
Like,
you know what?
I've been avoiding them.
Seeing Lush every day, looking at him right now, he does look a little sick.
I mean,
I'm not like sober sick, like he looks like he's not himself right now. I'm paying attention to him.
Yeah, no, like I really like I wasn't making an excuse. This was used to me catting off. And
Lush took a fucking D pill,
making
dog,
an
and he
excuse
had
or
a
whatever.
fucking.
No, I really woke up. I was not well, and I think that's like the difference between Raider and my addictions, right? And the way it manifests through the two of us. With him, I think it's a lot more visible off rip.
Because he gets really fucking faded and starts going off his.
He gets faded. I had this, and I don't know if this was. I don't know if God or the devil gave this gift to me, but I have this ability to maintain like high level conversations and be eloquent
And be fucking
just called it a gift.
Fucking
gift.
Hey, we all
God gave me this gift that I can fucking bend her out, get high, and still be on point.
Fool, we cannot be Picasso, fool.
Dog.
We cannot be Picasso, carnal. Right? Yeah, we cannot be Picasso. Homie, that's his gift, homeboy. The gift of the bender that you can control, carnal.
And guess what? You feel me? I'm not trying to chop off any appendages like he wound up doing. So we don't. That was Van Gogh, but you know what I'm saying. That was Van Gogh. But still, you know what I mean? Like it's the curse of that is my gift though, is conversation and the art of conversation.
Absolutely.
And that's why I enjoy this podcasting space and enjoy having individuals such as yourselves that know how to.
No, there's a dope vibe right here, bro. Very dope vibe. Very cool studio, Rick. It's just popping right here, bro.
But that's the difference. So like when he's faded, he's not firing on all cylinders mentally, and they're not like.
Well, he's faded, homie.
He's faded.
Like with me, I couldn't do that. Like even if he had him on, I'm like, but that's different platforms, different crazy shit with him.
Yeah.
That's what people come look for. They come look for that crazy fucking shit. What the fuck's Compa gonna do right now? But then that's when he gets into his shit. Like, you know, I'm sure once he sobers up, he starts thinking, fuck, I shouldn't have done this. I shouldn't have done that.
But the thing about him that's crazy is he physically recovers way quicker than I do. Like, you know what I mean? Like, is now, like, what I'm feeling is the physical effects of that, where I'm like, whoa,
the cruda's hurting, homie.
This is kicking my.
Fuck.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I felt it in my kidneys this morning.
Oh, you were doing that one.
Yeah.
Damn, dog.
I had a homie of mine, rest in peace, man. He would drink a lot. He passed away during the COVID situation, and we would go on our fucking drinking thing, and the homie, we like, what's up? For like see him the next day, eat a menudo or something, and that's how you feel. I'm good for nothing. I just pissed a little blood, like nothing major. Like jeez, or threw up a little blood, nothing major. Like
Nothing major. That is major.
Yeah, well, But that's the game of
things that
boozing.
get normalized.
The things that get normal. Any other fucking regular Americano, they go to the emergency room for like, what the fuck's going on with me? But it's like, I'm puking up some blood. No big deal.
Right. And then there becomes this, your disease wants to keep you isolated from your family. Your disease wants to keep your addiction going. Doesn't want you to go to the hospital and get that shit looked out. So there's going to be, you know what I mean?
But it's tough. I mean, it's just it's no different than, you know, maybe wanting a hamburger, wanting a taco, wanting this. Like, for us to get healthy, it's real. Those are all addictions, bro.
Yeah.
And
1000%.
And the booze and the drugs, especially in our community, bro, it's rampant, homie. It is rampant, and and it really got pushed majorly with the pharmaceutical companies. And those guys made trillions and trillions of dollars. Like, I want to say it's the ones, what's that?
Bear?
Oxy. Remember when they were Oxy, when they were all coming out and they were pushing it as a cancer pill at first, which was for level 4 cancer. And then after that, they just started giving it to everybody. They sue the companies. Okay, the company will get a $4 billion fine.
Right.
But so what? They made $1 trillion. Homie.
Yeah, that's nothing.
But let's talk about how many other people that were addicted to pills or take pills to alter their state of mind who really think they are sober because they're not taking a drug.
Yeah, because they feel like I'm taking a pill.
Oh, I take a pill. I don't do drugs. Like, let's talk about that one right there.
I work like around the Beverly Hills, Bel Air area, all that, right? I was talking to one of the superintendents, and his buddy works for I want to say the Water Plant Reclamation Center for Beverly Hills, right? And he's like, and all that water they do, they water their trees, their lawns, all that.
Which is very expensive because they all have expensive.
Oh my God! Yeah.
1 acre plots.
Remember when there was a drought? There was so much trees over there.
Yeah.
So he told them that he's like, bro, you know what? The biggest thing we have to clean out of the water over here. You know, you would think like this fungus is. No, it's pharmaceutical drugs.
Really?
And I was like, oh, that makes so much sense. Yeah.
They're flushing them down the toilets.
Well, they're taking a leak. They're taking a dump. That's all in there, bro.
Oh my God.
So he said the biggest issue they have in the Beverly Hills recycling water, all that reclamation, is all the fucking pharmaceutical fucking drugs that come out of it.
All the soccer moms.
Right? I mean, I was like,
fucking Lush soccer moms.
Soccer moms taking Valium.
Yes.
No, 1000%.
All day long. I said that makes so
dog.
much sense because that's what it is. And that's a great point because that part of America, which is usually the wealthiest part of America, will sit there and say, I don't have a drug problem.
Right, of course.
I'm taking a pill. A doctor's prescribing it to me.
Yep.
I'm not a drug addict.
Yeah.
But then there's also that high class of America that's fucking your partner, fool. Your partner fucking Hunter Biden, carnal.
Damn, fool.
I sliding with Biden. Hey, that dude does look like he'd be fun to party with.
Hey, listen.
Hunter Biden looked like he.
Hunter Biden's gangster, fool. Biden's gangster, fool. He had all the prostitutes. He's on video. He's smoking crack. He was he was getting
no fucks given.
He was getting 50 racks of a drawing from China, 250 grand over here, 70 grand over. Everybody's giving him to give money to the big guy.
You gotta love it.
And he was smoking crack. He was at Chateau Marmont. Did you hear the story?
Nah.
No, he was at the Chateau Marmont for a month, bro.
Was he?
One of the girls that he met,
I've definitely partied there. As well.
said that first she gave him a story. It's about this story. Hey, and he's like, go get the baby powder. And she came back with fucking, it wasn't baby powder, but that other, it's some other stuff that's like baby powder. And he was all pissed off. He wanted Coke, bro.
He's like literally.
He wanted Coke.
He's like, I wasn't being literal.
I was giving you the code word.
Yeah.
So they got some, and she's like, this is all the testimony of the trial he just went on. He passed out, and she's looking at him like, damn, this fool ain't breathing. She's all paranoid. And they're like, well, why didn't you call 911? They're like, well, that's Hunter Biden, dude. I called 911. This is a national story.
Yeah.
And then eventually he came out of it, bro. But yeah, Hunter's hardcore.
Yeah. And I mean, essentially, this is the child of a literal corpse. It's like watching the Santa Clarita Diet.
No,
this dude is a zombie.
You know who Biden is? Grandpa Simpson.
1000%.
Grandpa
He's
Simpson,
Abraham
bro.
Simpson.
Grandpa Simpson.
Yeah.
He's too old, bro.
Yeah.
On a hood level, and listen, 4 or 5 years ago, I was bumping the same YG song, fuck Donald Trump.
Right.
Everybody who had a fuck Donald Trump song, I'm bumping that shit, fool. I'm bumping that shit. But now I'm like, nah, homie, nah.
We thought it meant like in 2015 when that record came out or whatever, you know what I mean? Like early 2016, it meant something different, you know what I mean? Like, and what we thought.
Well, no, some people still think that way. Some people still believe, oh, he's just a racist, he's that, and fuck Donald Trump. But
do you really think, though, at this point, the majority of the brown and black community aren't rocking with Trump?
If you look at the numbers, it's gotten much higher on the Latino, but men, women not so much.
Okay,
yeah, women not so much. Younger men of color still not so much, but like late 20s to on, yeah, bro. I know so many people that hated his guts, including myself. And like, I'm voting for Trump. Fool. Like, look at this inflation. Look at this. Look at that. And everybody says, oh, well, the president doesn't. No, get out of here, bro. We're in a position right now, and a lot of people probably in the chat too. Most people don't follow the politics, bro. They don't follow. And politics is more gangster than anything else. Trust me, it's more gangster than any shit that's going on with Lefty and bands, homie. Real politics,
which we are getting into, by the way.
We're talking about Russia pulling up to Cuba with a nuclear submarine, homie.
Yeah.
We're talking with their warship coming out there, and they're flexing their muscle. They're telling America, "Hey, we're 100 miles off your coast.
We're here,
right?
Yeah, we're here. You want to bang with us in Ukraine and start telling Ukraine they can use weapons on Russian soil? We're right here. We're doing war games. We're signing a pact with Cuba. We're signing a pact with North Korea. We're signing a pact with China. In other words, we go to war, homie. What they're saying is this on a street level.
We go to war. They're coming with us.
If we jump, all these vatos are jumping with us.
Right.
And America's seeing this. They're coming after the American dollar. The petro dollar, which 50 years ago, the reason the American dollar is so strong around the world, right?
The gold standard.
No, the gold standard was gone since the 70s.
Listen to what he said, the petrodollar.
The petrodollar. They made a deal during the Nixon administration, I believe it was, that in order to buy petrol, in order to buy dope, homie, it's got to be bought in American dollars. So you have to change your currency into American dollars to buy petrol. That made the American dollar so much powerful.
And they're taxing every
So in other words, if I want to buy crack, I want to buy my kilos, I can't go in there and buy them in Chinese money. I can't go in there and buy them. I need to make American dollar, which made who? Who prints the American dollar? Us.
Right.
That made our dollar so much powerful.
Right.
But now we got BRIC. BRIC is Brazil, Russia, India, China, homie. They're making their own dollar. They're making their own standard because they see America printing all this money. And now Saudi Arabia just said they're not going to go ahead and make petrol and the American dollar the same anymore.
Which fucks us because they're an insanely wealthy country.
Well, it's not they got the dope, fool.
Yeah.
They got oil.
Yeah.
And that's just the game. It's the same game as a street game. But this, on the street level, homie, fools are trying to take over a block. Mm-hmm. On a fucking global level, I'm trying to take over your whole country, fool.
Now, there's been talk, and I want to know what you think about this, that we actually have enough crude oil resources in the mainland United States to sustain us. And a lot of those things that's going on over there aren't even, we're fighting wars not even based on necessity with agendas that people aren't even privy to.
We definitely are sitting on a huge oil reserves in the United States. America also houses, I forgot how many millions of barrels away. And that's when they say we're going to release a little bit of our dope. That's our dope, right?
Yeah.
Right.
The reason they house that oil is because in case of a war. Because if you go to, let's say next week we go to full-blown war, bro.
We're not getting oil from anybody.
Nobody's going to give us dope.
They're cutting us off.
Nobody's going to give us dope. So what do the tanks need? What do the bombers need? What do the jets need? What do these They all need fuel. They need that dope.
That's what the war is about.
Our cachet is so deep. As a result.
But the thing is, with our oil that we have in the ground, it doesn't really help us as much if we went to a full-blown war and didn't have oil because we need to process that fucking oil.
Right.
We haven't made like a new processing place in America in years. But that's also because the oil companies are dirtbags too, bro. They'll pollute shit. They'll do all kind of stuff. They'll do all kind of, and that's where the argument comes for in having oil.
If you remember when Trump went on his debate with Biden, one of the things that he had mentioned was, hey, Joe, if you become president, are you going to shut down our oil supply and get rid of all these jobs for all these people? And he was like, yeah, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And then Trump's like, look, guys, you guys are going to vote for somebody who's going to take your jobs, blah, 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 blah. The next day they realized like they fucked up in what they said, and he tried to recant his statement saying he wasn't going to do it. Soon as he got elected, first thing he did, shut it down.
Pipeline, yeah.
Shut it down. Our gas prices went through the roof. Our gas prices were cheap because we were using our oil from here. You know what I'm saying? Like Trump was like, "Fuck that, we're using that
that's the
shit."
typical.
And then now the gas prices are back up because
Yeah,
we're not
bro.
using our own oil and we're getting our oil from other places.
Well,
but while there's
and
a
of
war in
course-
existence, the shit becomes more expensive. You see what I'm saying?
And
the
well,
government
it was done in such a brilliant way as far
Yes.
as manipulation, using the all of a sudden now y'all motherfuckers care about the natives and native.
And the environment, and the biggest
Yeah.
joke is when you have, you know, like they were showing Swifty, what's the singer? Swifty, what's,
Taylor Swift?
Taylor Swift, there you go. Taylor Swift, when they're showing her doing her tour, bro, Korea, here, like all the jets, all these stars that always talk about being green.
Yep.
Mark not Wahlberg, the one from Facebook, Zuckerberg.
yeah.
He just bought his like $300 million yacht that burns so much diesel that it sounds good, bro.
Right.
It sounds good, but what they do
There's
is
literally colonies of seal choking on the fucking fumes emanating from. There's like carcasses just flying of whales.
It's all it is an elite show that says, "Don't do as I do." But you should
Do as
follow
I say.
it. Yeah, do as
Right.
I say, don't do as I do.
Right.
And that's what pretty much the liberals have done, homie. And to me, like, people get upset at me and say, "Hey, man, you just push all this this Republican shit. Fuck those guys. They don't like us either." And I said, "Yeah, you're right, homie. They don't like us either." But we already know that. I don't
kind of like
I don't
blatant
have to
about that.
convince you not to like the Republicans. You already don't like them and you mistrust them. And that's a great thing. You should not trust them. But the Democrats, they're doing this for... No, they're not doing shit. They're just doing stuff to fill their own pockets, doing all these nonprofit stuff. Look at Los Angeles, dude. It looks like a shithole, bro.
Yeah, I mean, I live in MacArthur Park. I live right in
that area?
near downtown
Oh,
Westlake.
easy club right there.
It's yeah, exactly. If I want it, you feel me?
Yeah, for sure.
A few blocks away, but you're not wrong.
Yeah, but right now we need change, brother.
Yeah.
I would have at least
Big time.
respected the Democratic Party if they would have came with another candidate. You
Exactly.
could be
We can't
a
exactly
blind
be
man
excited.
and see that this guy is just way too old. He can't walk.
Bro.
He gets lost half the time. It's
It's not
scary.
even him though. It's his vice president running him.
Well, not even
know
her.
what I
She's not
mean?
even smart enough. It's got to be some people behind the scenes.
Well, yeah, okay. You want to talk about her, the bitch that literally incarcerated like the most disproportionate amount of minorities.
And when she was in Frisco, right?
Yeah,
For weed.
like I have homies that are doing football numbers because of that bitch.
I believe it.
You feel me? So that's a whole other conversation.
To me,
Yeah.
at least the Republicans, like with Trompito's ass, they'll at least negotiate something with you.
But
bro.
what I want to know is what are your? There's always been a typically more staunch and strict approach to immigration when you're dealing with the right wing.
Mm-hmm.
Now, what are your thoughts on Trump's policies in that regard? And do you feel like the whole build the wall thing? Like, what does American Cholo have to say about that?
Listen, with the build the wall thing, I think it sends a wrong message. I do, however, think that the Democrats screwed the pooch when he offered to give the DACA kids their pathway to the green card and citizenship when he was in office. I think he asked for like $12 billion for funding the wall, and he would have given that. How much money have we gave to Ukraine? In Israel, over 100 billion, over 200 billion,
Way
over 300, way more than this funky ass piece of wall that he wanted to build. If they would have given him that, these DACA children wouldn't even be an issue now. They'd be on their way to becoming citizens, brother. As far as the policies of Trump, Title 42 was a great policy. Title 42 said, you're coming over here, you're looking for asylum, you will wait south of the border. What that does is that makes people have to get in the waiting room, right? And if you really, really need asylum, fool, you're going to stay there and wait.
Yeah.
If you don't, you're going to be there for like a month. No, chingue su madre, me voy para atrás.
Right.
I'm going back. Ya me voy para atrás a mi pueblo, wherever the fuck ever. I'm gone, bro. I am going back. But with the policy they're doing right now, with this fucking dumbass old man, the policy was pretty much Title 42 left. Everybody that's coming in, we fill out your paper, we'll see you in court. It takes years. So what they did was just release everybody in here. And then some people say, oh, well, this is our... Homie, this is America. Stop with this fucking mindset that you think this is 400 years ago. This is America now. This is our house. Now, do we not protect our house? Do we not protect our home? Yeah, absolutely. We've always had immigration where you pay a coyote, 20 or 40 you come through. That keeps the numbers at bay.
Yeah.
When you literally got thousands and thousands of people coming up there because they're telling you, go, now's the time. No, that's gonna break the system. Okay, if we were living in a time where you go to the streets are clean. You're always gonna have your bums. You're always gonna have your gangs. But look at our streets, homie. This is across America. We can't afford to take care of our own, but we're gonna take the rest of the world's burdens. Those gates will never close, because you know what? The majority of people now is not the Mexicans. You're coming Venezuela. You're talking Chinese. You're talking Haitian. You're talking the rest of the world. Why? Because the rest of the world knows I can get in right now.
Yeah.
And this will tell you other people who say, well, America, fuck. Motherfucker, these people are coming, getting dropped off in South America and making this huge journey just to have the opportunity that people have that were born here. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times people that were born here are the ones that hate this country because they're like the spoiled kid.
Well, they have the liberty to hate this country.
Yeah, but they have the liberty. Fuck this country. This country did this. Okay, this country banged, fool. This country banged. It won the war, and it is what it is.
Those people are only allowed to say that because they live in this free ass nation. Go to fucking North Korea, pop that shit.
Oh yeah, but that's why anytime you ask any like immigrant of America that was born somewhere else that came, they'll tell you, brother, I love this country, brother.
Yeah.
I love this country. It's always the spoiled kids or even adults that nowadays we live in a culture that it has demonized America. It's just talking crap. It would be like hey, how talk to me about your grandfather, and all they tell you is the bad stuff.
Yeah.
Grandfather fucking did this. He cussed out grandma this year. He told my uncle. No,
why are they still together?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Do we have a horrible history in America? Absolutely. Should we teach that? Absolutely. But we shouldn't teach our young to hate America, homie. Because look at this. We're fucking podcasting in America, carnal. We can sit here and say, fuck Joe Biden. You can sit here and say, fuck Donald Trump. You can sit here and say that in this country. Russia, you're not saying that.
No.
They're coming in. China, you're not saying that. They're coming in.
Freedom of speech is so vital.
But it's because of the country that we have that
you know
freedom
what's funny? Today when we were going to Melrose, right? We're at a red light.
Oh, you guys went to Melrose, huh?
Yeah, we had.
What'd you guys go there for?
To the store, to the Fidel's collab for the.
Oh, how was that?
Jumper. Wait.
You missed it.
I was a bit under the weather.
He was under the weather.
Under a bottle.
Me and the homie went, but Trip. We're at a red light, right? And I look over and I hear this guy in a car. He's listening to a Trump speech, but it's on the radio.
But he's like slapping it, like
he's listening to it.
Like us.
So my dumb ass thinking he's a fucking Trumper, right? I said, "Who you vote for?" He says, "Not Trump."
This would politically based on them. He's like, "Hey, we voted for him."
I said,
that's a good one, right?
I said, "Why aren't you voting for Trump?" I'm not voting for a convicted felon.
Oh, Jesus.
Fucking weenie, bro. Like, what the fuck? And then we drive away. You start saying dumb shit, right? I go put on a song from Trump the Don, some like Trump AI music.
Oh, yeah.
This fucking dude dodged us so bad for that shit was funny as fuck.
And then you see this one take off, and this one has like rainbows all over his shit.
He got rainbows all over his license plate and shit.
And that's the new thing they're using. You're gonna hear that.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They're hiding behind it.
Get a shot glass ready with some tequila for the debates, bro. They're gonna be saying, "Convict the felon, convict the felon, convict the felon." But
that's the quickest way to get faded. Take a shot every time they say convict.
But isn't that the party that's supposed to want second chances? Doesn't judge you by what you've done,
right?
Yeah, those charges that they gave him. Even the mayor of New York came out on Bill Maher's podcast, right? Yeah. And he said if Donald Trump was not running for office, they would never charge him with that. Those are some of the worst charges you could ever see a president get charged for. It was just boo-boo shit. That
ironically, is it fair to say that they're trumped up charges?
Yeah, pretty much, bro. But they definitely aren't. Anybody else wouldn't have got those charges. 34 felonies? Get the fuck out of here, fool. Nah, no mames.
But you know what? Like, and he laughs at it. The way he takes it, bro. Like, he walks out of court, same face.
Yeah.
Delivering a public speech, same face. Like, that fool's a real gangster, dog. You know what I mean?
I think it turned on them, especially with the males of America, when they charged them and they found them guilty and all that stuff, because you can see, like, wait a minute, this is the charges you come in with?
Yeah.
This is what you got? Like,
this is some bullshit.
Yeah, this is like, yeah, you can tell.
I didn't even know there were laws for this shit.
It's like somebody in the hood that's doing good, but they just don't like him, and they're going to pick him up for some way out shit. Like, it'll be like me getting arrested. I'm like, this is what you're coming at me with?
This unpaid jaywalking ticket from 2017.
It's some bullshit, bro, that anybody else they wouldn't even charge him.
Right.
Like fucking Biden. Oh, he's too old. He's a little senile to get charged for.
You got a Hunter Biden over there at the damn Chateau Marmont. Free basing with hookers and shit. You got half a fig over there.
Hey, did you know that fool? He got his brother passed away from brain cancer. He was the one that was supposed to be like the next president. He was in the service. His brother passed away. This fool got at his fucking sister-in-law, bro.
What?
Within 6 months of him dying. Yeah, this is all on the record, bro.
Damn.
He got with his sister-in-law within 6 months of him dying. I think it's sooner, and he got her all cracked out.
Well, if you can't keep it
in the family, right?
Keep it.
Everybody's leaving my sister-in-law upset big. Like,
keep it in the family.
Yeah, bro. No, it's straight.
That's wild.
Straight dirtbag, bro. Straight dirtbag. That's when he had a baby with the stripper. That's when they finally. His dad barely, I think. Now acknowledges her because he would always say, and the number may be wrong. Oh, my 5 grandchildren. They're like, no, you got 6.
Yeah,
and everybody knows it.
And he smells all their heads.
Oh, jeez, yeah, bro.
So at what point did you like? What was the turning point? Because you said, back you was slapping fuck Donald Trump the whole 9, blah da 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 da. What was there a specific moment that you remember where you're like, you know what?
Great question.
Paradigm is shifting.
I think when I started seeing to me, this is the main policy that I have a problem with in the Biden administration, and a lot of it isn't even do with the inflation and all that stuff. To me, when a president can't tell you what a woman is, that's a problem. To me, when a president is allowing, and they say, well, he can't do anything. No, you are the president. You're the one that sets the tone, homie.
Yep.
When you're allowing men to be in women's sports and say that's not a problem because you just want that base. I don't give a shit what that base is doing.
Yeah.
I want this base. LGBTQ. I need this base, right? He sold everybody else out, bro. When now you have like in California, you just had that guy. You have about 20-some men in women's prison, bro. Walking around with beards, looking like this, bro.
For real?
No, for real. This is facts. Just 2 weeks ago, one of those men raped his cellmate in Chowchilla in California. And they'll say, well, what's that got to do with Biden? These are the liberal policies that Biden, Gavin Newsom, they have gone so far off to the left, bro. And people...
That's fucking insane.
Yeah, but that's true. This is facts.
Yeah.
This is happening around the country. They have men in women's prison, bro.
Because they're identifying as women?
No, because they have gone so far woke.
Right.
And the thing is, most people like myself that now will say, I'm not voting for Biden. I'm voting for Trump. It's not that we moved. We've been in the same place politically, bro.
Right.
I have gone a little conservative, yeah, but I've always been in the same place. The left has gone fucking whacked out left,
and
bro.
that's true. And like they say,
Wild.
and this is a phrase that I use all the time, and it holds true to me, is show me someone that's not liberal in their 20s. I'll show you someone without a heart. Show me someone that's not conservative in their 30s and up. I'll show you someone without a brain.
What
feel me? Like,
what in God's name does drag queen hour have to do with children, bro? Why is, if that's the case, let's bring Chippendales guys to come read to children.
Yeah.
It makes no sense, bro.
Not correct.
But what it is, and people say no, they are grooming your children to see this as normal.
Yeah.
And it's not normal.
Yeah.
You had the lady out here get kicked out with her family at some beer place in LA. Because there was the guy in the bathroom and she told him something. Yeah. Well, they got offended and kicked the family out. The guy's like, hey, my wife's in the bathroom with the guy. I don't care. When I was younger, and my daughter was like 8, 9 years old when I really came into her life. Yeah. My mom always would tell me, bro, never leave your daughter. She would say, like, seriously, you never leave your daughter around a man. I don't care if he's your friend. I don't care if he's a cousin. I don't care if he's an uncle. You never leave your daughter alone with another man. My wife would tell me the same thing.
I don't think that's bad advice.
Well, no, when we say we don't want our daughters in the bathroom with men, I don't care if that man identifies as a fucking Tinkerbell or whatever it is, bro. You're still a man. Right. So what happened to the party of taking care of the family, taking care of your daughters, taking care of your wives? Taking care of the women in our lives, bro. That party's gone. What now? The new woman is a man. They're letting women in sports, and anybody that says anything about it, you're transgender. I mean, you're a homophobe. You're this. You're that.
And like really, like if you look at it from a tangible perspective and remove all emotions, if there's a girl if there's a woman that's athletic enough to compete with men, you feel me? I don't have a problem with it. If there happens to be, you feel me? Maria fucking Lopez from, you know what I'm saying, is a good enough pitcher to play for the Angels. Because she would never be good enough to play for the Dodgers. Damn. But the Angels, you feel me, might have a female pitcher. Totally understandable, right?
Yes.
But having women's sports.
They're breaking the lifting thing so often, bro. Because they're coming in here, because they're fucking men.
Yeah, that is it.
And then when you ask somebody, I think one of the ladies that ended up being in the Supreme Court, they asked her, and they'll hide from it, bro.
Yeah.
They'll hide. Like, there's no difference. Well, I'm not a biologist. The fuck? I know.
Fuck out of here.
I know this is a male dog. He got balls. I know this is a female dog. She does not, bro.
Right.
I don't need to be a fucking vet to know that's a fucking.
Well, and you could look at the skeleton 100 years later, and it's gonna reflect.
This is the world we live in, bro.
The gender assigned.
50 years ago, 60 years ago, men were, and there's many memes about this. Men were lying about their age to go to war.
Right.
Nowadays, men are lying about their sexuality to beat women in sports, bro. That is the reality that we're living in right now.
Yeah.
And where are the adults in the room to say, this is wrong?
And here's the thing: the fact that I agree with everything you're saying, and the fact that I do should really tell people something, because socially I lean very far left. You know what I mean? I grew up in West LA. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
Just like one of the most socially diverse and advanced. Like there's gay people, trans people walking around.
We don't care, bro. That's the thing. We don't care.
Never gave a fuck.
Nope.
But when you're forcing that to be the new norm, and forcing us to have to accept it and change our lifestyle to accommodate that, that's where I'm gonna draw the motherfucking line.
Another law. I don't know if you know this. For any of you young parents, I got grandkids now, right? For any young parents who have kids in any school in California, if your son Mikey wants to go to school, put a dress on, and have the rest of the class call her Susie while she's in school or he's in school, they will not tell the parent anymore.
That's fucking crazy.
It became law last week. At what point do we, as men, homie, I'm talking to the men right now. At what point do we as men don't stop and let these people do what they're doing, stand up for our kids and say, wait a minute, we're supposed to be the first ones to find out about this.
Yeah.
And women especially will be like, what? You're not going to tell me something's going on with my kid?
Yeah.
In the state of California, if your kid wants to identify, it's just your business.
Yeah.
But they're not going to tell the parent? And they'll be like, oh, well, there's certain parents that will only because there's certain parents that are dirtbags, you're not going to exclude the rest of the parents.
Yeah, that's fucking insane.
That's a law, brother. Last week it passed.
So it's essentially removing parental rights.
That's it.
And prioritizing the rights.
Yes.
Bro, they've already removed the parental rights of students and kids, dog.
Yeah.
Long before. Who the fuck are you to tell me that my kid has ADD or my kid doesn't have ADD, right? And like, think about how many parents send their kids to school and then they get that phone call. Just because your fucking kid don't want to sit down and listen to a teacher, your kid has to take these pills? Well, we, did our evaluation. Well, where the fuck were you as a parent? Like, the parent didn't get a chance to sit down with this evaluation. So now you're recommending they take Relin, and if they don't, you're involving child, CPS services and all that other bullshit, right? That's bullshit, bro. Like, the rights have been gone, homie.
No,
and they started that bullshit in the 80s,
that's
bro.
like, things like that is planting the seeds.
Yeah, let me give you another law. If your kid, California again, bro. If your kid goes to the doctor and tells the doctor that let's say a girl, that she's really a boy, she's 12 years old, and says she wants hormone treatment, which they're going to give her steroids to, make her into a male, get her more voice, the doctor can and will prescribe those things to her. You will get a bill in the mail, but you won't know what it's for. You can go and ask the doctor, hey, what are you prescribing to my daughter? California law. I can't tell you. That is between me and your daughter, but you're paying for it.
Are you fucking serious?
These people are falling asleep. Dude, what do you think I talk the crap that I do on my Instagram and all this?
People say fuck Biden. or fuck Trump.
Yeah,
Tell
bro.
me why
These are
fuck
laws,
Trump.
bro.
Tell me
These,
why.
these are laws on the books. This is it, homie. And the people listen. This is why I get upset. This is what it is. In other words, you don't have rights to your kids, homie.
You know
That's
what?
what's going on.
All of
You
a
really
sudden,
don't. You can't even beat your kid like you used to.
all of a sudden, melted Kraft cheese on burritos don't sound so bad. I'm moving to
used to get my
Texas.
ass
Yeah, bro. And then some people say
Tex-Mex might actually be edible.
I
now.
have a feeling AC watch Fox News. Nah, homie. I just keep up with news in general, bro.
Yeah.
And
It's
that's
good to know what's going on.
And that's the thing. People, if
Well,
you,
that's his way of saying
Yeah.
that you're concerned. You know,
well,
you know
yeah,
that
no, but
implies.
sometimes they'll sit there and say, "Oh, no, there's a lot of stuff I don't agree, and I do agree with both sides." Like with me, when it comes to this is one big thing that people will say, "Oh, you're super conservative." When it comes to abortions, bro, that's your business.
Right.
I'm not a guy who's going to tell you what to do with your body. I do believe, though, that there should be a term limit.
Kill more babies than King Von if you want.
Well,
Go
you
ahead. Like-
no. To me, you shouldn't be 8 months, 9 months in and get an abortion. To
Right.
me, it should be in the first quarter or whatnot. But
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
my
yeah,
opinion.
yeah.
But the way
Soon
I
as
look,
you know.
the way I look at it is, if you're gonna go to hell for, doing an abortion, you're gonna go to hell. I mean,
Right,
all
yeah.
sins are the same, because the same guy that's telling a woman not to do that is the same guy having his fucking mistress having an abortion, and
Yeah.
and they do it all the time, bro. So to me, it's like that's women's rights. So I'm
I know some girls that have the Grim Reaper following their pussy around.
Oh,
like,
geez.
literally,
Damn.
like, shoot,
They
shoot,
had it. They
shoot.
had it on speed dial, fool. but that's the short of it, which I had to take off, bro. I'm like, no, I can't anymore until a Democratic president has some backbone to come in here and talk about it. Because if you listen to most Democratic presidents, they sound like Donald Trump.
Yeah.
All right. If you listen to any of Bill Clinton's old speeches about the border, sounds like Donald Trump.
It's only because it's him saying it.
Obama was his nickname was the deporter in chief. He deported more people than any president in history till today, bro.
Well, what's funny is a lot of the visuals that we got, of the kids in cages and all that.
They showed up for Trump.
That was actually during the Obama.
But Obama started that gangster shit, homie. Let's
Yeah.
keep it real. Obama was, but that's why you can't trust what you see in the news, bro. You see it, and CNN used to be one of the best news organizations on the planet,
That's
bro.
why Trump be telling them to get the fuck out, fool.
They were in the center, and they reported the news. Right? They said, "Oh, this president's doing this wrong." Now they're just the Trump haters.
Yeah.
MSNBC, the Trump. Just like Fox News is just the Biden haters. We don't really have any news, homie. That's
Yeah.
really just giving it to you. This is what we got going on. This is what's happening. They all have such a bias that they're getting paid by somebody or another, and that's a huge disservice to us.
Well, also a lot. I feel like it was during that 2016 campaign when there was so much misinformation just coming out.
Majorly, bro.
That we as the American people had a healthy distrust.
Russia.
You feel me? Of mainstream media. Me personally, I haven't believed in mainstream media ever. You know what I mean? I think it's always been compromised. So,
Yeah, Jay said Gil is interviewing LAPD detective and district attorney Nathan Hochman. Gil supports law and order. Yeah, I do, homie. But we interview everybody, bro. We try to change it up where we're not just doing the same old thing. And when we do interview the gangster stuff, it's good. But I do like interviewing people like Nathan Hochman, who's going to be the next district attorney, LAPD officers, because this is the other side of the coin that we really don't get to see a lot.
Okay, so this is a great segue for some interesting contemporary dialogue within because you transcend various.
What you mean I'm a trans fool?
You transcend various YouTube spaces, like you said. Now, within the YouTube space of, as I said, the YouTube yarda, you know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah, for sure.
And all that. There's been a lot of talk recently about norteños coming down, being interviewed. Is that any different? Is norteños being interviewed in platforms in Southern Cali any different than someone like me if I interviewed a Ku Klux Klan member or a cop or a DA or whatever? Like where do we draw the line? And
Well, I think that the gang culture is so strong in Southern California, or in California in general, right? That it hinders us, bro. It really does hinder us, because whereas some of us can't sit there and get a Sammy the Bull Gravano, which would be a great fucking interview, bro.
Yeah.
You know, but I think at some point it's gonna have to be with, hey, bro, I'm interviewing this guy, you know, because somebody like that is the success that Adam has,
right?
Because Adam's that white guy that's playing politics. That's why I say Adam's the king of LA, homie, because he can politic all day long. Nobody touches him. Nobody does anything to him.
Right.
And Adam can get somebody in there that's fucking a Gravano.
And that's the thing, though. Like, yeah, when I brought up Sammy the Bull the other day because we were chopping it up. It was me, Rick, and Raider, and these fools were going to crucify me for saying I would interview 69, Tekashi 69,
right?
Who's essentially the same thing as Sammy the Bull.
Yeah.
Sammy the Bull's a fucking rat.
He's a straight rat. Yeah, 100%.
In fact,
certified.
In fact, I think he's kind of worse because he was a real gangster who really held it down. That's John Gotti's right-hand man right there.
If you look at the majority of the prison channels right now, they're all in a certain bad standing. Let's say and it ain't no disrespect to those guys. They always get in their feelings when I talk to them and stuff. I'm not, but the majority of people that are watching them are homies.
Yeah.
They're homies.
Right.
They're homies that are supposed to don't want to fuck with these guys that would sit there and say, but they're watching them. And there's no denying it. You can look at their numbers. They're all fucking watching them. And a lot of those guys, some have debriefed, some have snitched, some have straight told. And in today's world, that code, it's not there anymore, homie. It's really not there. You can try to spin it, 20 times from Sunday, homie, but it's just not there because if it was there, you'd see all kind of bodies everywhere. I talked about this in another live I had today. Because all the wolfing, it's become like fuck, bro. It's just one troll after another, and that's what you see right now.
And well, if fools want to use that argument when convenient, or when if it's somebody they don't like that gets exposed for having that chink in their armor, all of a sudden, oh, you're a fucking rata.
Yeah. For sure. With me, I just stay away from all those guys.
So you don't give a fuck what anyone would say, regardless, about the type of content you make, who you interview. You don't give a fuck.
I don't know, homie. But anytime, some people, he'll talk to I'm leveling this shit up. I interviewed Nathan Hockman on, I think, Thursday, right? He's the guy running against Gascon for district attorney, dude. That's huge, homie.
That is huge.
So if or when
that puts you in a whole other category.
If or when he gets elected, he's going to come back in the show. So American Cholo will have the district attorney in LA, homie. He's the one that's going to lock you vatos up when you act the fool. And with the homies, I wasn't, and I even told him off air, I was on the block with the fellas a couple weeks back. It was one of my homeboys, Clumsy Rest in Peace's anniversary, right?
RIP.
So I was there and I was saying, hey, I got, and some people, and these are homies they're active, homie. They're out there.
Yeah.
Hey, who you got coming on? Yeah, I got Nathan Hockman. He's gonna lock you fools up. And then, you a dick. I said, hey fellas, this was gonna, and I'm telling them, I'm trying to school them. This was gonna come in. The Gascon era of having it easy, it's gonna go away, fool. And I saw this coming years ago. I said, no, you can't have somebody like Gascon come in here and just loosen up all the laws and regulations, because a street motherfucker, he ain't worried about, they're going to try to treat us nice. No, he's like, oh, shit, I can do this and get away with it? Mm-hmm. Oh, shit, I can do this. And what it's done, and the way I like to phrase it so it makes sense, Gascon is like the substitute teacher that you can do whatever the fuck you want.
Okay.
You can throw an airplane at him.
Yeah.
You can throw a spitball. He'll be, ha, ha, ha. This other fool coming in, nah, homie, he wants to clean up the streets. And to me, we shouldn't have a whole bunch of people in cars burning out and then going and stealing AutoZone shit, fool, and then going and stealing a bakery stuff. You got people dying for getting a catalytic converter stolen. You got innocent people getting hurt. To me, if you want to be a gangbanger, you want to get that money with somebody, get your money, fool. That's
right.
on you. I'm not gonna sit there. Oh fuck the guy. No, that's the game, homie. That's the game. But the game shouldn't be now where it's the wild wild west and you got people getting killed in the metro. My mom drives the metro, so I'm like, dude. I tell her, don't go, but she's like, she got family or friends in MacArthur Park area, so she parks her car in North Hollywood and takes the metro over there because there's no parking over there.
Yeah.
But at some point, we gotta get back to law and order, fool, because this is where our families are at. This is where our kids are at. But what I've been seeing lately on the internet is we're going backwards, fool. We definitely going backwards. It's now it's just one beef after another beef after another beef after another beef, and it's like, all right, is this what we're doing?
And why is that? What's perpetuating that cycle?
I think it's a lot of the rap stuff, bro. A lot of the rap stuff where instead of just like the North and South shit, right? To me, it's like Ain't no norteño ever killed my homie, carnal. Only I got many dead homies. I got many homies in prison for life. And guess what? It was another Southsider that my homies killed. There was another Southsider that killed my homie. So for us to be looking with beef with those guys, like to me, it's almost like you're doing it just to be cool. Like I'm gonna beef with the guy 8 hours away right now.
Right.
Like, if I want beef, homie, I got it 2 blocks away. I don't need to go beef with the guy at 8 hours. So to me, it's like, homie, there's no need for that. If we really want to elevate the game, let's do what they did at the Kendrick Lamar fucking concert, homie. We're still busy fighting over the smallest stuff, but that's why the industry ain't fucking with us.
Do you feel like that? I mean, everything you said, I echo those sentiments. But when like there is the static, typically between, it's well, at least in Southern Cali, because there's Sereno hoods all up and down the state. You know what I mean? Like, but there's no Norteño hoods. I think the furthest south they go is Bakersfield.
Yeah, Bakersfield.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and other than that, you know what I mean? Like, you'll grow up having no confrontations with them whatsoever. But once you hit the motherfucking, you feel me?
Yeah.
Once you hit the yard, that's where. And so, like, looking at Lefty, this is a dude that spent 9 years incarcerated, probably had his fair share of negative encounters with them inside. I don't know.
Well, yeah, but right now inside there's not even no beef, homie.
Right.
So it's like,
okay, that's true.
come
too.
on, homie. There ain't no. You're gonna go inside. You're gonna program. I talked to my homies. Like, yeah, fool, they're right here. We're like, it's. And this is what I try to tell some of the upstate homies, because they're like, "No, Gil, you don't understand. We're frontline, homie. We've been frontline for all these years. What you think?
Yeah,
we still killing each other out here. What you mean? It's just a different name of a gang, homie. It's nothing more. This guy's a norte. This guy's a southerner, homie. It's just like a Crip, a Blood, 18th Street MS, homie. Florence. Fucking 18. It's just a name of a gang, homie. But we're going back into, oh no, you don't understand, homie. You're fighting over something that you really don't understand. You're just fighting because, oh, I grew up in this block, all right, I'm a norteño. I grew up in this block, I'm a Southsider. What happened? Fuck that guy. For what? Oh, because just fuck him. Just like when a young guy in the hood gets jumped in. You get jumped in the hood, homie, all of a sudden you got 20 enemies, carnal.
Yeah.
And this is the hood shit. I know this shit front and back. So when I'm saying this shit, I'm saying it from experience, not just from my life, from my homie's life, from my hood's life, homie. And to sit there, it's easy to hate. It's easy to hate because all you gotta do is say, fuck that guy. Why? Oh, because he's this. You never ran into him. Your homies never had beef with them. Your girl ain't never slept with him. You know, some.
Yeah, there's no real reason.
There is no real reason to hate. Just.
And if you want to get super technical, motherfuckers are the same. You know, come from the same place or of origin, have the same DNA code, have the same genes. You know,
it's the same people, but it's just. It's easy to hate, homie. That's what it is. But on the live I did 2 days ago, I was saying, listen, man, this is the difference between us and like with the Italians, right? The Italians were doing the same exact shit as us, homie, in the 20s, right? They were beefing one another, and eventually somebody came along and said, you know what? This is worthless, homie. We ain't really making no money. We need to come together and start really making some money. And then if there is beef with one another, we'll politic and see what's going on and get it figured out. I'm not saying we should become the Italian mob. I'm saying learn from that and elevate it, because those guys are mostly gone now, but their family members are now business owners, are making money. They've elevated their game. We, as a people, are having a very hard time elevating the game, fool. We're still fucking stuck in the dump. It looked like it was going good for a minute, but now we're back to this, homie. We're back to that low-level shit, homie. When I don't
feel like the overall trajectory for, you know, Latinos in America has been like moving upwards.
We're powerful, bro. We're powerful, but the thing is, we're like the big fat sloppy guy because we can't get it together, fool. We're big. It's California, 40% of the population, bro.
Yep.
We should have mayors up and down that are brown. Governor of California should be brown. According to all the inclusion laws, we have this much numbers, we should have this much power.
Right.
But LGBTQ has the power they have, bro, because they got together in a room like this sometime in the years back, and they said, well, I'm not lesbian, I'm gay. I'm not this, I'm bi. I'm not this. And they came up with LGBTQ, and they say, you know what? All the differences that we have, we're going to throw them out the door. What do we want to fight for? And we don't come together like that, bro, because we're always, oh, well, I'm this. I'm South. I'm North.
Right.
I'm Mexican. I'm Central American. I'm this. I'm that. That's why when I first started, I came out with CaliMax, Central American Latinos, Indigenous, Mexican American Chicanos. Homie, an umbrella to fall under, say we are this, homie. But then, oh, why do you got Central American first? And then why do you got Latino? Like, Jesus, homie, it's like,
where do you draw the line?
yeah, it's like, it's always something. It's like, we poison ourselves, bro.
So yeah, like my girl is Guatemalan. Is she not Raza? Because she's Guatemalan.
I'm from Honduras, homie. What's the problem?
Like, that's what I'm saying. You know?
It's over here in Southern California. It's the way of life, homie.
Yeah.
It's the way of life. Like most of I got homies now that I've known for 30 years. That maybe last year I found out. Oh, fool, you're from Guatemala? I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I thought you're Mexican. Like,
yeah.
And they're like, fool, you're from Honduras? I thought, no, we grew up in Southern California, homie.
Yeah.
This is the lifestyle, homie.
Yeah,
This
does
is
it matter? We were born and raised
all
here,
of us.
you
You know
know
what? You know when it started mattering? It started mattering in social media. Because when we were kids, we never talked about that.
Yeah, no one gave a fuck.
Nobody give a fuck. The kids out there hanging around, doing the donuts, doing all the crazy shit, gangbanging, they don't give a fuck. They're not asking their homie, hey, where were you born? They're asking, where you from, homie?
What country is your grandmother
Nobody,
from?
bro.
Yeah,
Nobody. The kids are just hanging around doing things. Social media is the thing that's brought that out because if they don't like it, like, oh, you're a rat. Oh, you're a Central American.
Well, that's also why I never realized how strange I came across to the average person that's never seen me, and why my swag will throw people off. It was because it was like pretty normal growing up,
right,
in LA, whatever. You know what I mean? There's a lot of white fools that grew up kicking it with Rasa, kicking it with black fools, and having that swag on them, and it's not really abnormal to us, but the rest of the world, they'll get a glimpse of it and be like, yo, what the fuck is this guy trying to do?
Right.
You know, like, but so okay. I assume you saw the video. You heard when you did your live the other day, the band's.
Oh my God, yes. Who hasn't seen that shit? That shit
Yeah.
like 200,000 views in like a day or two, bro. It's just huge.
Yeah. What do you think about the record and the video?
Some people are saying that it's garbage, that it's trash. Listen, fool, I just wouldn't want to be on the other end of that video.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, God damn, that shit. That it was to me the one part that just distasteful was the mom part.
Yeah, but
that's
also like all fair in love and war.
Yeah,
like,
that's the thing, homie. Like I said, to me, I think it would have just been better. Like when they asked Lefty about that guy, like, you know what, Lefty's got so much momentum. He don't need to diss these guys, bro. Really, he's got so much momentum. He doesn't need to diss these guys. For what? All he did was do them a favor, and now this fool did that. Because before this, they would have been like, who the fuck's Bands? Like.
And the thing is and Bands is a talented rapper.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
He's a talented rapper. I give it up to him. The thing that's, to me, the craziest shit about the whole thing is, I don't know how many times in history a Norteño came and caught a spot like that. You feel me?
Never.
Like beyond on video.
Never,
I mean,
bro.
like,
Never.
Period.
I was really tripping. Like, I watched a few videos trying to see if that was like photoshopped or not.
No.
That was real.
But
you
listen,
really caught that placa right
But
there.
it's not as difficult as people make it out to be. I saw some guy in the comment, oh, they would. I said, homie, just about every hood, at some point, somebody can go there, take a quick video, do their thing. I worked in the Jordan Downs for about a year, bro. Yeah. There was many of times where nobody was out there because they come out at night.
That's funny because I was literally about to use that.
Jordan Downs as an they'll come out at night. They'll come out. So did he go there in the daytime? Yeah, but okay. The difference in the hoods in LA nowadays from 20, 30 years ago. Part of being a gangbanger is you had to be posted up. When we said posted up, that's what we meant. Hey, what's up? I'm posted up in the hood, homie. And it wasn't even an no offense of what's about it. You would get shit talked to if there was like an hour or 2 hours nobody's in your hood. In the party line where I drove by your hood, your shit's dead, nobody's there. We were posted up back in the days, but today not. It's a different generation. Fools are on their phone.
Well, there's also gang injunctions that make
not even that.
It's like it makes it kind of difficult. You can't kick it the way you used to.
No,
hold on a second, Lush. Hold the fuck on.
Homie. Oh, here we go.
Hold the fuck on. You ain't asking these cops if you could sell dope. You ain't asking these cops if you could smoke a motherfucker. You ain't asking these cops if you can gangbang. You think, motherfucker, oh, we got a gang injunction, all of a sudden we're going to behave? Come on, dog, stop.
But
it's not, the gang injunctions are illegal. They're not even doing those anymore.
But I'm saying, like, even if they did
it's just,
do it, you think it's
it's 100%. Fools ain't posting up on the block, fool, like they used to. They'll do it for a music video real quick. Yeah. But you go through most hoods nowadays, fool, they're not posting the block.
Yeah, fools are not outside like
fools
that.
Fools are on Instagram.
Yeah.
We outside, and they're in the backyard of somebody's house.
Yeah, you see it all the time. People go to different people's, oh, look, I'm here, I'm this and that. There's plenty of time for that guy to have shot that video, bro.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing. I don't know if you remember that dude, GBO Gaston, and there's those dudes, the Takers, and was going to every single hood.
Yeah.
And dissing the hoods, and you know, that fool went to Manchester Park, where the Hoover's hood. He went to the Jordan
he was going
Downs,
everywhere. King of LA, talking all kind of shit.
Yeah. Ramona Park over there in Long Beach.
What happens when he gets caught?
He got smoked.
My point.
He got smoked.
My point.
You know what I mean?
See, this guy said that video was not quick. Gil makes it seem like they jumped out. I'm not saying that they did it quick. I'm saying it can be done. It's not that difficult, bro. It's people. It's not training day where fools are posted up like that.
No,
Let's just keep it 100.
And I don't believe that they were there for a prolonged period of time. Probably more than 2 minutes. They had to be a little bit comfortable to set up shop.
Somebody's posted up, you know. I'm sure with something on them watching and they're doing the video. Most people aren't over there. Oh, what are these guys doing? How many people you see nowadays on their phones or video camera? Nobody gives a fuck anymore. It's not like, oh my god, these guys are filming. Let's call everybody. No, they're probably doing a vlog. Right. They're over here. They're wearing red. Over here, that doesn't mean anything. I don't know if some of you guys from up north believe that means something over here. Over here, wearing red means absolutely nothing. You're not gonna see a guy walking with red and say, "Oh shit, I gotta hit this fool up with a norteño." You're gonna be like.
Nah.
In fact, we
You're
have
absolutely right.
And then you got hoods like Culver City, which has had red be
like over color. There maybe because some of their amigos think, oh, these fools are wearing. But in the majority of LA,
that means nothing.
It means nothing, homie. It means nothing. So those guys wearing that red. My homie came to the studio the other day. He's all flamed up, fool.
Yeah.
Like
well, people like everybody is way behind their whatever people's concept and perception of what gangbanging is. They're way behind the way the city actually moves.
Yeah, for sure, in other places, homie.
But like, I'm not gonna lie, like me, if I would have seen that, I would have been like, what the fuck are these fools? They definitely look out of place. Like,
right. Well, but you're kind of in the industry thing, you would know, but the majority of people know, and like I said, most guys,
civilians would have no clue.
No, civilians would have no clue. So he went to his liquor store. I mean, it's a fucked up look. Don't get me wrong, homie.
Yeah.
It's a fucked up look, and I'm sure Lefty and his homies are feeling a certain way, which they should.
I'm sure they are.
But that's what comes with the game, homie. That's what comes with the game. But now it's like, what are you gonna drive 8 hours? Like I'm not gonna go drive a few hours to go gangbang unless they shot one of the homies or somebody got killed. Like all right, fool, fuck, we're taking a mission. But I'm go 8 hours. Like come on,
but
homie.
the hip hop head in me does want Lefty to respond.
Oh, he has to
fight back.
No, he has to
fight back.
You're
a dope rapper. You got this.
And I'm sure they're in the fucking lab right now trying to figure out what they're gonna do, and they might pull up over there. I don't know. I just hope that it doesn't end up turning out where it becomes a Biggie, Small, and Tupac situation. Not saying that they're that caliber, but I'm saying, unfortunately, if something were to happen to both of them, guess what? They would be on that caliber all of a sudden. That's the fucked up part. You ain't famous until somebody kills you, homie. You know what I mean? One of those, carnal. And hopefully it doesn't get to that because in reality, it's like, homie, aren't we doing this? Aren't we doing the music to try to get our family out the hood like that? And in the hood, like I'm out the hood, but I live in my hood, homie. The hood is right here in the head, carnal.
That's what I'm saying.
It's a mentality, homie. Yeah. It's a mentality.
You're putting yourself a limit over your head. With that type of mentality.
Mental chains, carnal. Mental chains. That's what we've been in for so many years, and to me, it's like. That's why I'm saying it looks like we're going backwards. For a few years here, when we started the YouTube thing with myself, it seemed like, all right, dude, we're trying to fucking communicate with one another. We're trying to do this. We're trying to do that. And then it went to shit, homie. But I do believe that one of the main instigators, your poppy, fucking Adam, brother. I believe the king of LA definitely loves that kind of shit. He'll get you in there to ask you certain questions to get the drama going, fool.
And isn't that kind of his job to a degree? Like,
if Adam and I said it to him too. If Adam was a black or brown man, Adam would have got socked up already. Let's keep it 100, bro. If somebody would have paused on him, but I don't know if it's just in our genes to fucking bow down to the white guy or something, homeboy, or find an excuse never to blame him for anything. But anybody else, fool, if he was an essay, he would have got politics a long time ago. A long time ago, and you and I both know that.
Do you think that it's that's an interesting point. So you think just because the mere fact that he's white, he's able to get away with certain things?
Well, what else is it, homie?
Well, I mean, I think I was just not growing up out here.
No. If he was a white guy,
so I want to know how much I can start flexing my white privilege.
Right? You better run that shit, fool.
Let's have a fucking white privilege card and shit.
You better run that shit. No, if he was a white essay, then no, he's not doing it. Because he's not gang related. So he's not gang related, but we've let him step into our lives of the hood, homie. We let this guy literally politic, homie. He'll start beef with one guy 1 week, and the next week, come on, half of his crew and they're all want to kill each other allegedly and do all this. I'm like, how the fuck you gonna be in the same studio? And I don't get it, bro.
It's gotten a little bit chiller recently.
Right, but
it has.
But Adam definitely has, you know.
Let me ask a question though,
Sure.
right? Is I'm always gonna look at it from all sides. When you say that we let him do that,
Yes.
if I'm not mistaken, every single person on either side has voluntarily went to that studio.
Yeah, so we let him do that.
Right. Well, I mean, it's not that we let him. It's that I guess certain people think that, okay, well, you know, for publicity, for the rise of their career, you know, I'm gonna get this no
Right.
jumper interview, and I'm gonna get, you know, some clout from being there or whatnot, right? Everybody goes there and gets recognized.
Right.
But I think that how you handle your interview also determines
of course.
how these words can be construed, because there's certain questions that if you ask me, my question is like, it's auto answer. I'm not gonna discuss that on camera. And that's it, you know, like.
But
I
most
do
people,
feel that it has a
are
lot to
not
do
as
with-
savvy as you may be. Most people are just in the
Well,
streets.
That's true as well. I think the thing is that ultimately, platforms like No Jumper are dependent upon views, right? That's the bread and butter. No Jumper, we're selling eyeballs to advertisers, to content distributors, whatever. That's what we're doing with No Jumper. Now, the type of content that tends to resonate with people,
Yes, it's
is
that drama,
drama-based
homie. It's no,
content.
I get
Yeah.
it. No, I get it, homie. I definitely get it. But that's just what it is at this point. I don't know if he's pushed back a little bit, but it used to be like, you know, the hip hop thing. This and that. Now it's LA politics, homie, on the grand stage. No jumpers, LA politics on the grand stage, and the feds are watching it. The cops are watching, but at the same time, looking at it like, damn, there ain't fools are getting supposedly shot out there, and no cops ain't coming over. I'm like, what the fuck, bro? Anybody else? Somebody gets shot at American Cholo Studios and goes to the.
Shut the fuck
my
down.
door's getting fucking broken in, bro.
Yeah.
Okay, let's keep it 100.
Right.
My door's getting.
Right.
So I'm like, what the fuck's going on? Like,
Yeah.
I see guys with burners on them on air, and I'm like, you an ex-con, homie? How they having-
Airsoft guns. Airsoft
Yeah, well, you
guns.
call it whatever the fuck you want. My door's getting knocked down, fool.
Yeah.
I could have 20 airsoft guns right there in a video and have a red tip, and I guarantee you my studio's door's getting knocked down.
Still
So
getting it knocked down.
you know this.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's
do
the white privilege again, fool.
Do you feel like, hey, I'm gonna need to start taking advantage of this shit? Like, I'm fucking with it. Do you feel like that the other platforms are kind of doing the same thing, but just
No, they are, bro.
They all have a different way of spinning it.
Yeah, they are, bro. And that's what gets you the views. It is. That's what gets you the
Who
views.
can spin it the best?
It is what it is. That's why I say Adam's the king of LA, homie. You know, people get upset at me, but I'm talking my shit. But I talked my shit when he was there.
Yeah.
I didn't hold nothing
Right.
back, bro. We had a great conversation.
And do you consider you guys cool at this
Yeah, we're
point?
cool,
Like,
bro. No,
like-
we're cool. We're cool.
Yeah.
I won't go over there. I've always kept that to my name. I said, no, if I go over there, I'm going against everything I've ever said, bro.
Shouts to Raider though for
Oh,
bridging
for sure,
that
for
gap
facilitating that, bro.
Yeah.
and making that happen. That's like people look at Raider and they see like this turned up personality. They overlook.
But he always means well, man.
No, hey,
The thing-
yes, bro,
exactly.
yes. No, Raider
always
is
means
a
well.
good guy, bro, that many times gets taken advantage of, brother.
Yep.
He is, but he's a
You know what's
big-hearted
funny?
guy,
I
bro.
told him, you're used to being around people that want something from you. It's different when you're around people who don't need nothing from you.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? There's a
Yeah.
big difference.
for sure, brother.
Yeah, and our friendship was fortunate enough to blossom under like equal terms where that wasn't an issue. And
La
like,
bolsita.
yeah.
Hey, somehow all fucking all nations
Let's
lost
just go
them.
with a withdrawal.
My brother.
No, Raider, I got the balias.
I love you. Where have you been all my life?
Yeah, he's definitely
shit.
my he's definitely like my drug soulmate. Gante soulmate.
But listen, what I see that's gonna happen eventually is gonna come to a crash. Something's gonna happen, bro, because it's just gotten very sloppy. It's gotten very crazy. It's gone complete. I never thought it was gonna be like this. I mean, I got back when I first got on YouTube. There was hardly any channels out. People were afraid to show their faces. Like even the guys who do the prison channels, a lot of those guys were hiding, bro.
Yeah,
they were
yeah, shut
hiding,
it up.
or they were just no face, and little by little they were just let me see, and they finally figured out. Wait a minute, dude, nobody's gonna kill me. Like straight up, that's what it was. It was like they were afraid, and nowadays everybody's on the internet and they believe there's no repercussions to it. They believe it's fucking. I can say whatever I want, do what I can, but there is, homie. There's always, you know, it's may take a little longer. Hopefully, some of these young guys realize like, let's make some money, homie. Like.
Yeah, absolutely.
We've shown for decades that we can go to prison and thrive. We can kill each other. We can be gangsters.
Same dedication out here.
Yeah, we've shown
Use
all
that
that,
same
homie. We
commitment
proved
out
it.
here.
And to me, when I tell like my nephews or little homies, listen, homie, I banged, I feel, so you wouldn't have to, bro. I already know where my block is. I know where my enemy's block is. I know where, but I know his homies now.
Right.
And them fools ain't. We were out there trying to kill each other before. Now I see, hey, what's up, homie? How we doing? It's a respect thing. So it's almost like.
But the gangster still looks so cool to the kids.
Well,
right?
it looks cool until you're sitting in that fucking cell.
Exactly.
Right. Everything looks
and
fucking cool.
Funny, a lot of people sit in that cell and think, like, damn, fuck, I'm here because of what? Because I was high and I fucking robbed somebody?
Right.
Like, fuck, I don't even remember that day, Like, that's the sad part.
Now you see, and that's the reason I bring like a lot of guys to come out of prison. My thing when I bring all the prison guys, it's not to glorify it. I mean, it's to show the youngster, hey, fool, this is you in 20 years.
Yeah.
This is you. This is what you want. And then fools will be like, fuck, that shit wasn't worth it.
Yeah.
I got homies in there that killed somebody from another hood. Now they're walking the fucking lap with the same guy's
Same
hood.
dude.
Yeah, bro.
Right.
It's like at what
Same
point do we
dude.
realize, okay, dude, we were uneducated back then. Our older homies were telling us, keep doing this, keep doing that. Now the older homies coming out telling you, hey, fool, pump your brakes.
Right.
And it's not like before where a lot of them were like, thumping the Bible, which is all good, bro. If that's what changed your life, beautiful. To me, it's a great thing, bro. But now as you got real gangster motherfuckers coming out, and GP motherfuckers that it's hard nowadays in prison to come out like that, but they're coming out and telling you, hey, fool, don't do this shit, homie.
And for everyone that's like that, there's still the other fools that are rolling by the elementary school and the middle school and be like, what's up, you ready to get put on? Da, 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 da.
But eventually they're gonna figure it out, homie.
Yeah.
They're like I saw about 4 or 5 little homies. This was about like 6-8 months ago on the block, right? I was looking for somebody to talk to one of the homies. So I pulled up. I saw them back there. They just saw me. And like, hey, what's up, homie? What's up? They tell me their name. I just tell them Gil, right? And then one of them's like, oh, I haven't been put on yet. I said, oh, you're lucky, homie. You haven't destroyed your life. And the fools looked at me like.
He said, lucky? That's my hood name?
Yeah. I said, do yourself a favor, youngsters. Yeah. Don't get in the hood, homie. That's the best thing I can do. I can't sit here and hold your hand like I'm just trying. I'm just trying to tell you this is what it is, homie. And if you do get in the hood, don't get doped out. Don't do. And that's the thing I push with the homies.
Don't be a crash dummy.
Don't do meth, homie. Like even to the homies when we were kicking it that a few weeks back, I told them, I said, you know what? The only thing I don't like, homie, is when you got guys that are your guys' age or in their 20s. And you're all methed out already, and then you see a 14, 15-year-old, and instead of knowing that shit's fucking poison, you tell that youngster, nah, homie, you ain't doing this. Hey, here, let's do it.
Here,
why?
Try some.
Because misery fucking loves company, homie.
Yep.
And that's what I've seen that's destroyed all our neighborhoods, homie, is drugs, fool. I mean, if you're gonna do it, it is what it is, homie.
Do you feel like meth of all the drugs has had the worst effect?
I think fentanyl is taking over now. I see it every day across the street from my studio.
Meth.
It used to be meth. Fentanyl, the power of fentanyl, they just fucking seem to love it. But it's definitely between fentanyl and meth, bro.
I feel like the young, like the Edgar kids, like the young.
Yeah, the cuh. No, Kim, the cuh.
Yeah. I feel like a lot of those fools, they're more prone to get into the uppers, like the Scante.
Well, everybody is, bro. And they do the balloons. They do
the balloons is an epidemic again.
It's
hippie crack.
It's because listen, if you've never done glass before and you do it for the first time, yeah, it feels great, bro. It feels absolutely. You're like, shit, bro. Like, whoo, what the fuck? Where's this thing been all my life? Right? It is. You do glass, you think like, where's this shit? I got energy. I can have a conversation. I even have better conversations.
And then you want to jerk off for hours.
That's after a while, right? So, but what it is imagine putting some super fuel in your vehicle every day, every day. And I'm talking about octane booster.
Yeah.
You're driving every day. Guess what? In 2 weeks, 3 weeks, your fucking engine ain't the same, bro. And that's what's happening. So to me,
my
it's
engine ain't the same.
Yeah, for sure, bro. But to me, it's just I think it's horrible when you got older homies or just homies that know that what the dope is and they're giving these youngsters dope, homie. I mean, it's bad enough they're in the gang life and all that stuff, but to get twacked out because before most of the homies would have work. Yeah, there's always the homies getting high. Mm-hmm. The homies will be clean. Now I see some homies like they're looking fresh, but they're fucking dirty, bro, because they've been on the streets for fucking 2 weeks, bro. Mm-hmm. You see a homie living in a tent, not a big deal anymore. That's crazy to me, bro.
That's
crazy to me, bro.
Especially in the Valle, too.
Straight up, that's crazy to me. Yeah,
in the West Side.
I see fools like all gang, like fool.
Yeah,
You can tell they're like fucking homies, like fool tatted up. 4 days old, no shower, walking with a bike, mad dog student, and going right to the freeway bridge. Fool, like, fuck, I seen that.
I got homies, multiple homies living in tents.
Yeah, fool, it's crazy.
Throughout the West Los.
And it's like normal. It's like, some guys will be, I forgot who told me that. He's like, hey, yeah, fool, I was in the county. As a matter of fact, it was Conejo, the rapper. Shout out to Conejo.
That's my dog.
He said when he was in the county, homie, and hopefully, no, it's a small story. So he was like, hey, fool, I was in the county and there was a vato there. And he was telling me, oh, hell yeah, fool, we're kicking it right here. We're in the tents. And he was like, you were in the what? Fool, like making it seem like this is fine. And Conejo was like, fool, I'm trying to take a shower. I'm trying to be clean. Like, but this was making it seem like it's popping in the hood. I'm in the tent. But that's where we are right now, fool. We're in that era, and it comes down to.
That's apocalyptic shit.
Right? It is. We've lost a lot of our structure, whether it's in the hood or whether it's in our communities. When I say structure, it's people are stealing everything. People don't give a fuck. People ain't scared of the cops. People ain't scared of nothing. They fucking just jacked the Secret Service guy, fool.
Yeah.
What did that tell you?
Right.
No fucks given right now, homie. None.
Well, here's the thing. So, Gil, during his gangster stage, you know what I mean? Like, obviously had a big influence on the community. Obviously, kicked up a lot of dust. A lot of people respected it. Now, you're still doing that in a different way.
Absolutely.
How do you maintain being looked at as a cool figure to the youth and I don't want to say removing your gangsterness, but removing being an active guy out there and all that.
Yeah. I think what it is my connection to my hood, homie. You're still gonna see my ass every week at the liquor store. I go to the liquor store. I drive by there every fucking day. I still talk to the homies. I'm still a guy that's very accessible in my neighborhood. I'm a guy who's known for giving the homies when they come out of jail work. I'm the guy that's very connected to the hood. And when you go and ask any homie of mine, like, hey, what's up with it? Oh, that fool was with it. Like, this fool was definitely with that shit, homie. Yeah. So there's nobody in the hood that's gonna sit here and say, oh, that fool's.
So the stats are speaking for themselves.
Listen, homie, the stats, and I fuck with my homie. 96, homie, I got the Heisman, carnal.
Yeah.
Like that was my year, homie. 96, I got the Heisman in the hood, homie. And I tell the homies like, yeah, motherfucker, like.
You playing ball.
I committed, homie.
Yeah.
In 96, I committed fully to the hood. And when I meant committed, that was my second time in Hawaii. I got the gas on, and I'm like, wait a minute, most of these fools, and I say respectfully, like, they ain't trying to. I thought when I was a kid joining the hood, all kids, I thought everybody was a killer, bro. I thought everybody was with that.
Yep,
and,
not everybody
and then you start realizing, no, some of the homies slang dope, some of the homies are with the girls, some of the homies are in the car, and then the few and the proud Marines are the ones putting it down.
Right.
Well, I ended up becoming one of those guys, but I also was the guy in the hood that when I got out in 96, I started putting meetings together with the homies. The homies got, hey, fool, all right, let's do this. Started putting meetings together. I'm the guy, instead of having the community meeting, I'm having the gang meeting, homie. With a couple of the homies, all right, we're going to fucking do this. We're collecting money from all the homies. We're buying the straps. Who's holding the money? Gil's holding the money. A couple of homies, hey, why are you the one holding the money? All right, here you go, fool. You can... Oh, no, we're good. Like, all right, fool. Like, all right, this is what we're doing. Like, I was using whatever the brain I have. My wife calls it the brain, right? I was using the brain for negativity, homie. But to me, it was, I'm trying to protect my block. Mm-hmm. I'm the guy that was telling, all right, who came to the hood this week? All right, these vatos came, they rode, all right, boom, everybody doing it. Boom, boom, boom. But I'm not just saying it. I'm going out there. Like, after the meeting's over.
You were general and sergeant in arms.
Yeah, after the meeting's over, homie, let's go run this, homie. And the homies knew that. And then I got busted. When I got out in 99, they thought it was the same thing. And at that point, I was like, fuck this, bro. This is my third time out of YA. I've been doing this. I don't see as many homies coming in. I'm like, nah, I'm not doing this shit no more. I'm done.
And your neighborhood back then, I mean, it's still like, a lot of gang activity.
Absolutely.
But at that time,
yeah, dude, that was the peak, homie. I was 15 in 1990, homie. That'll tell you. That was the peak era of those gangbanging days over there. And that's why I talk the way I do, because I know what it is, homie. You're not gonna sit here and tell me, oh man, homie, I was in them trenches, homie. I was in them trenches. Like, it's like trying to tell a World War II vet, oh, that I was in Korea. No, well, you were still in this war, homie. You were there on D-Day, homie. So I was there when a lot of the beef started with different hoods. I was there to see like the whole gang scene go and become what it is today, I guess, right?
Yeah.
But like I say, I speak from experience. And when the homies know that I'm speaking, they know, yeah, that fool certified over there.
No, that makes a lot of sense. And it's funny you bring up World War II vets, because we were talking about Trump earlier, and imagine somebody saying to a World War II vet, like, "Oh, you support Trump? He's a Nazi," and then being like, "Nah, motherfucker, I was actually fighting real life Nazis. Y'all don't even know what the fuck that word means."
I was fighting for the hood. I seen so many homies die. I seen some homies go to prison. I seen the lie that a gang is, homie. I see the beauty of it. I see when we're camaraderie and really take care of each other. But when I say the lie is us killing one another, homie. I can love my hood, and me killing you doesn't make me love it anymore, homie. Because when I kill you, it's destroying my neighborhood. Because guess what? I'm going to prison. You're dead. 2 fathers, two sons, 2 nephews have been taken out of the equation, which means there's some other kids that ain't being raised correctly, and the cycle just continues. And on the other side of the block, they're the same people, homie.
Not to mention the discontent that is added, and now,
now
and people gonna want to get their get back,
and then the financial problem that comes with that, and it just destroys our fucking neighborhoods, bro. It really does.
It really does. Now. There's been a discussion, and I would love to get the American Cholo take on this. Kendrick Lamar recently had his amazing seminal concert.
That was dope.
On Juneteenth, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's the anniversary of the day that the slaves were freed.
The last slaves found out, because they were free for 2 years before they found out, homie.
Freed, but when that's the
final word that somebody found out, hey, that's it, we're all free.
Right. And if we're being super technical, it actually did wind up. There's still people that didn't know for a long after.
Yeah, I'm sure.
But
sure.
That's on record. That's the day that's celebrated and everything. And
some fools were working for free for another 2 years. We're like, fuck.
Right,
that's fucking 30.
Right.
Generations damn near.
Yeah.
I've heard crazy stories.
Well, they probably say, don't tell that motherfucker.
No, straight up. Like, I've heard crazy stories about the Deep South.
Oh, my God.
Louisiana, Mississippi,
horrible
Alabama,
stuff.
Families not knowing into the 20th century. I'm saying
that's
like,
insane.
In the 1900s, and there's still people that didn't know. So, regardless, that aside, Kendrick had an amazing performance.
Absolutely did.
He brought out a lot of the city. Ojeezy is the only
I saw that.
Chicano rapper that performed. Do you feel like there's that Mexicans were underrepresented at this event, or do you feel like Kendrick's under no obligation to do that?
Kendrick's under no obligation.
Is the fact that it's Juneteenth?
I mean, there's no obligation. It's Juneteenth. Would it have been cool as fuck? Yeah, absolutely. But he got Jeezy on there. It's not like he didn't, but he's definitely under no obligation. He isn't. It would be great because I'm sure a good chunk of the audience there was Raza.
I'm sure, absolutely. I mean,
right?
Like, at any event you go to in Los Angeles.
But it's up to us, homie. It's up to us to make those kind of things. It's up to us to get those kind of numbers. But the problem is, we're going to go back to the beefing stuff. Mm-hmm. If we're beefing with the whole state, we're beefing this and that. We're beefing from certain sides. Like all kind of beef. Right now, everything's beef, bro. Right? You can't get that many people in there like that because they're going to be fighting.
And here's the thing. Look at Ojeezy, right? Ojeezy's a really good example to use because Ojeezy, Mexican kid, born and raised East Hollywood, Los Angeles, California. He's never pushed a gangbanging agenda in his music. We've never heard Ojeezy talking about. I mean, he's a tag banger. He's from the Tagger
for
crew
sure.
And all that. You feel me? Like, I'm sure if he got busted, he would for sure roll with the homies.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, but he's not out there pushing anything to do with gangs. And guess what? Ojeezy can go up to the Bay Area and tour. He can go to Sacramento.
That's a beautiful thing, homie. That's
he
a beautiful thing.
He could do shows in Sacramento. He could do shows. That's a huge market
advantage, bro.
That we're fucking ourselves.
Yeah, we don't have
on both sides.
We don't have because we're too busy banging, homie. But like I said, at what point do we realize there's money to be made? You
look at the real legend. Like I guarantee, like I've been on tour with Psycho Realm before.
Nice.
Done shows in Northern Cali. You feel me?
Right.
Rocking with Sick Jacket up there in Northern Cali. You feel me? Fucking Cypress Hill can play anywhere in the fucking world. I would like to see more of that. I will say though, Kendrick was under no obligation.
Absolutely not.
But it would have been cool.
Would have been dope.
See one or two fools. You feel me?
Who would you have up there?
Maybe like I think like Lefty and Rowdy would have been really dope.
I think Lefty would have definitely got the crowd going crazy.
I think that would have been dope.
Absolutely.
You feel me? Rowdy as well. You know what I'm saying? There's a whole, list. You could say peso. You could say, you know what I mean? Like there's a
there's a good chunk of guys.
It's a crazy roster right now if you look at it. But like, you know, at the same time, I don't think that Kendrick needs to be admonished for doing that. And I feel like
Kendrick's beefing with Drake and doing that shit, bro. It's like he's not the guy out there.
It's hard enough unifying different blood and
unifying his people, homie. Unifying his people. So to me, no, especially on Juneteenth, it's like, come on, homie, it's Juneteenth, carnal. It's like it would be like, you know, somebody said the Cinco de Mayo thing.
For real, I didn't even know it was a fucking holiday that day, dog.
Yeah.
They made you work, fool.
Yeah, I was already driving. Somebody said, hey, you know it's a holiday today. And I'm like, it is? What holiday? Like, I didn't realize that it was an acknowledged holiday like that out here.
They made it a federal holiday.
Yeah, they made it a federal holiday.
A few years back. It wasn't before.
Yeah.
But so, what is it?
Juneteenth is 2 years prior to that. I think that's when President Lincoln signed the Emancipation Proclamation that freed all the slaves. But it took 2 years for the Huila to get down to that part of the yard, because that part of the yard was the Southern Democrats. And the Southern Democrats, people don't know, the Southern Democrats didn't want to let the slaves know they were free. So these dirtbags knew the slaves were free. Let's say, and my years are completely off, but let's say 1880. Right. So it took 2 years for the word to finally get into these places. And it was Juneteenth when these people came in and said, hey, dude, you don't have to work. What do you mean?
Right, free. It's over.
It's over, homie. Yeah. It's over. So that's
so essentially, it's the holidays effectively celebrating the abolishment,
the freedom of the last slave. Even though there was more, but that's pretty much what it says.
Yeah,
yes.
that's the point of the holiday, and you know, it's great for the city, and I would like to see more things like that, and I'd like to see more inclusion and everybody rocking together. And it's you know, overall, it's just crazy that was brought together by a diss. So I think it's important to acknowledge that within the context of hip hop culture, dissing, battling, that's part of the whole thing.
Yes.
And if fools are able to do that and leave that shit on wax, you feel me? Like,
on our side, it's very difficult, bro.
It seems to be difficult.
It's very difficult. You know, like, you know that.
And it's also been like more difficult in general for the West Coast to embrace that, because, you know, hip hop culture started in New York. They were ciphering on the street corners, you know, spinning on the fucking on the cardboard and all that.
And all that good stuff. Yeah.
Like motherfuckers out here were gangbanging.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So we absorbed that culture later, and it's
but like, we in especially LA, bro, we ended up exporting that gang culture everywhere else, bro.
Absolutely.
Everywhere else. And
absolutely.
And we spread that cancer everywhere. And
yeah.
But a lot of people are now, but they're still killing each other. Chicago's every weekend going at it with each other. You know?
Sure. I mean, well, like Chicago and LA are both like the gang bang capitals for different ways. Because, you know, we got, you know, SAs, Crips and Bloods here, and they got Vice Lords, GDs, and Latin Kings.
For sure.
So it's like, you know, those are like the two different styles of gang banging, and they pretty much took the world by storm. But I think that really, if you look at it, there's nothing that's been more influential than LA gangbang.
Oh yeah, no, it's got Major League Sport. That's where all the music, that's where hip hop changed from, you know, regular cool, I'm doing this and that, to, you know, Easy E and NWA, and then it just, I think. Let me ask you this: do you think that gangster rap made a real bad impact on brown and black communities?
So an amazing question. It's so nuanced. I think it's been a double-edged sword, because in its essence, when gangster rap was created, and you know we're going back now to, you know, Schoolie D and Ice-T. I'm talking previous to NWA, and you know what I'm saying, like the early to mid '80s. And even through NWA and Compton's Most Wanted, all that, like
CMW.
Exactly. That's street reporting. You know, like it wasn't supposed to be. Now, obviously, was there some glorification of the lifestyle? Absolutely. But really, what it is doing was showing a mirror, like, to America. This is what's going on in the hoods of America. This is.
But it also ended up having a lot of kids wanting to be that.
Which, so the good news, the good part of it is it created a whole new economy.
For sure.
Way, you know what I'm saying? To get out the hood.
And this is a perfect example of what's different with the essays and the brothers, right? With the brothers, and this is the ironic part. on our end. With the brothers, you could be a Kendrick, you can be a Ice Cube, you can be a Dr. Dre. You don't have to necessarily be from a hood, and you could say I'm a serial killer. You could say I'm gonna get the gun. You could say all this crazy shit. If you're an essay and you ain't from a hood and you try saying that, we press up on you.
There you go. You know what I'm saying? Which is true, but then it kind of goes back to what I was just saying about talking about OGZ. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, this is a dude that it kind of looks like that's a route, a more sustainable route for having
Absolutely.
a long-term career
Yes.
arc in this. And it's one thing to be like back in the day, fools might be gang members, but they're not necessarily emphasizing what their set was.
Right.
You know what I mean? There's
Right.
and that goes for
Well,
both.
what's his name was a perfect example of that, and I think he got politicked on was Kid Frost, bro.
Exactly.
Kid Frost was there.
Yeah.
He was in the limelight.
Yeah.
Whether people like it or not, he was the one that broke through.
He was the first.
Yeah,
like,
he definitely was.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he could have got through, but then it was again, this Vato ain't really a gangbanger. This Vato,
Right.
and
Right.
we destroy it. But when we are a certified gang, then you're gonna go to prison, homie, and then you're gone.
And I think that's why, like, so many of us out here have this instinct to protect Lefty and really want to see Lefty
course,
do good.
yes.
Because we're like, bro, like, this could be you. Like, you have.
He has that it factor,
He
bro.
has the it factor.
He really does. It's and that's what it is right now. Because some people say, "Oh, his rapping." In today's world, it's not just about the rap. You can be the greatest rapper, but if you don't have that it factor, if you can't go on camera, if you can't, like, damn, that guy comes on and the energy just is there, bro.
Yeah.
So to me, hopefully, hopefully, and it seems like he has the right people around him. But sometimes you got to watch what you say. Sometimes you have to, bro. It's just the way it is. And now you find yourself at the end of the fucking diss song like that.
Yeah. And it's, and it's, like I said, Lefty, we want you to fight
My
back.
question is,
go
though, is
crazy.
that who shot first, though?
So,
I really
as
don't
far
keep
as
up
those
with
two
this.
guys,
I really don't keep up with this.
So to be honest,
with the whole
so to
beef
be
thing,
honest,
but who shot first?
Now, from this, per my understanding, Lefty just was saying a lot about Norteños. Like, there would be any time they would get brought up, he'd be like, "Fuck them," da da da
Yeah.
da. Like, there is a lot of.
He broke the ice.
He broke the ice as far as I can see.
Okay.
I don't know if any.
You don't know if anyone did something in
Addressed
closed
him.
doors or something like that.
Well, I don't know if it's closed doors. 8 hours away, bro.
Yeah.
It is.
Per my understanding, he set it off by just like saying a little shit or whatever, and then like they kind of like all fed off of that energy.
Yeah, and I think that's what it was. I think
because Bands actually said on No Jumper the exact thing that you said. He said, "Look, he's like I love LA. I love coming down here. I don't have any beef with like fools from LA. Like all
Right.
the fools that I beef with, they're from up there.
Yeah, they're
you
up
know what
there.
I mean? Like and it's just like, bro, like if you." There's Norteños that beef with each other. It's not just like there's, you know what I'm saying?
And the bands brought that idea up, and I thought it was a great idea. He was like, "Man, we're gonna come in the Bay Area. We're gonna do a rap song with 5-10 of our guys. None of you guys involved. We do it. You guys do one down south. Do the rap thing right there, and then put it together on a video,
which would be amazing.
And you banging on wax, homie.
Exactly, and that was the whole point of banging on wax, and that shit was dope.
But now that's out the water.
Yeah, I mean,
it is. It's out the water. That got blown out the water.
Yeah,
so.
once you do it,
Yeah, bro.
That's taking things.
And that's when when situations of just speaking certain words will make something like this happen, bro.
Yeah, and so one of the things previous to that happened is I don't know if you're familiar with it, but there's a platform in the Bay Area called Thizzler. And,
yes.
Thizzler's dope. It's a dope platform. It's not like a Norteño platform. It's mainly for, you feel me, like...
Music.
It's just music. It's just
Right.
a music platform. It's predominantly black artists on there, but, like, for sure some Northerners will be on there.
Of course.
And then occasionally they'll have, like, Rowdy Rack song or a Drummer Boy song.
Okay.
Or, like, they'll occasionally fuck with some Southern Cali shit, but it's mainly up there, right?
Right.
They had asked Lefty to do a cypher verse.
I remember that.
Lefty recorded it and they wound up not dropping it because he pretty much dissed the North.
Oh yeah, you can. It's not
On
playing your
there.
cards right, bro.
Yeah,
That's all to me. I mean, you have to pick a side, brother. Do you want to just be gangster or do you want to do business? Because there's plenty of people in the world that don't like one another, brother. but they're doing business with one another because they want to make money.
Right. You can't make money working with feelings, bro.
Exactly.
It gets really, really tricky, and I totally understand like the years of pain and the systemic oppression and the conditions that were the pressure cooker that created this guy.
One of the two. You want to be a gangbanger or you want to be a boss?
Yeah.
You can't pick because the gangbanging part will take it from you every day, homie. All day, every day. Just like, when guys are out there dope dealing this and that, you never see an old dope dealer in the hood, homie, because they end up going to prison and they're gone. Yeah, they're making money for a little while, but eventually the game's going to catch up to you. And if anything, we should have learned by now by seeing all these guys come out of jail and getting second chances, don't go down that route, homie. This route is a dead end. Lefty has so much talent, so much charisma, so much going for him.
He ran with it.
Yeah, he's the only one right now that can really stop his momentum. So, I mean, and he can also just say, fuck it, I'm not doing shit. I'm just keep on pushing. I mean, keep doing my thing. It's up to him, but it's just, you got to swallow that ego and pride. Now, ego and pride have many people in prison, have many people in the cemetery, bro, just for ego and pride, carnal. And that's one thing as men we got to do. Sometimes I've been at work where I want to fuck somebody up or do it, but like, nah, I mean, this is my breadwinner. This is where I work. I can't have people at work thinking that I'm a hothead guy, especially when I was younger. I can't do that. So when like guys get out of jail and I put them aside, I say, fool, this ain't jail. Fool, this is the real world, homie. Yeah. In jail, you can beat somebody up, and that's just normal. Here, you beat somebody up, you're never getting a job again, homie. And then you're back to that street life. So you have to pick a side. You gotta. And to me, it's the man thing to do, homie. Because the other stuff, it's some childish shit. It's deadly. Don't get me wrong, homie. It's deadly, but it's still it ain't the boss thing to do.
It's not.
It's not.
It's not, and there's way more long-term sustainability.
Yes, bro.
Now, where do you draw the line? Like, sometimes is it difficult when the old school guild comes out? Like, for example, when you got somebody who's talking shit on YouTube, you feel me, wants to test you and pops up on you, and then winds up, you feel me, getting a response that they're not happy with, be it physical or otherwise, and then they wind up fucking, getting all scary about it or trying to
and calling the police,
getting police involved. like what? How do you toe that line in those situations?
I always say it when I'm on my thing. I'm not gonna woof on you, homie. I'm not gonna go back and forth with anybody. I'm not gonna sit here and. Just if that's the case, keep the energy when I see you. But now at this point, I'm like, you know what? I am trying as hard as I can just to stay away from that drama,
right?
Because it really is. Because if you're gonna bring all that drama, then at the end you're looking for an issue, you fall off the top bunk, and then you call the police on me. Come on, carnal.
Yeah.
What part of the game is that? But that's the world we live in right now, and people will make excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse. So to me, I'm like, I'm good, homie. You guys, because I get people woofing on me all day long, homie, all day long. I don't watch it. I don't see it.
But you're not inviting. You're not trying to actively invite that energy.
It's some people have me on a microscope, bro, and it's like almost like they're stalking. Like any little thing that I say, oh look, he said this. Oh look, he said that. But you won't catch me. Like I said, you won't catch me on any lives woofing stuff. This guy's this. I got enough, let's say, YouTube, Yard of the Enemies, that I could sit there and make a clip out of everybody every day and find something, and I would get some hell of views, bro.
I don't even respond to like half these lames.
React to shit.
But that will bring that bad energy. I ain't hiding from nobody. Everybody knows where I'm at. Straight up. I'm not woofing it, but to me, it's just respect the policy, fool. There's certain boundaries that people think they're going to pass, and like I said, there's not gonna be any repercussions. Absolutely, there's some stuff like coming to somebody's place. That's inexcusable, fool. You should never come to somebody's place uninvited, especially if you're woofing all kind of shit to that person. And if you do come,
you might get these hands.
You might fall off the top bunk.
Mopped up real quick.
That's it, fool. And it's crazy, but it's the internet that's making people think that it's okay to do that. It's not okay, fool. Like I said, that's the problem right now. And it's not a generational thing, it's a social media thing. There is no structure. There is no rules and regulation. Everybody thinks that they're a gangster online. Everybody, like people talk, they can talk whatever they want. I'm still in my neighborhood. I'm still doing, but I'm doing good, homie. But I'm not your punk. Like straight up,
my boy still got the manotas. Don't even play with him.
I'm trying to do more of the political stuff. It's not. It's just it's the hate, bro. It's the hate that I don't know if it's like jealousy.
Those are the people that you have to convince with your message, right?
Oh, but yeah, there's people I say let's go left, they say go right. I say go up, they say go down.
I know.
And at that point, it's like I like people will say unity this. I'm like, you know what? You're gonna lose 25%, bro, because 25% are that's just the hater in them, bro. Some people don't know you and they want to hate, and it's fine. I used to be an Oscar de la Hoya hater when I was a kid. I used to see him get all the girls. I used to see him, fuck the golden boy, just because I was a hater. But now, I mean, I'm married. I work every day. I do this podcast.
I'd love to go on a bender with De La Hoya. Let's go.
Oh my God, bro! That's the only time I'll probably go on a bender, bro. That's it, bro. With De La Hoya and Compa Raider. Hey, we're all being lingerie.
Damn,
oh shit!
I can't believe I just heard that.
Let's keep it 100.
Can I see Lush, you, and Compa walking around in Vegas dressed like ballerinas and shit, dog? What the fuck?
Hey, it's AI. It's AI.
Mrs. Cholo is not feeling that one.
Wow. Was walking around with tartars on and shit.
Okay. Something else. I know we've been live for a while. Something else I want to touch on, and it's so funny that all these topics are kind of interwoven, and this is back to shouts to all 604 people watching, by the way. That's love. We appreciate y'all.
That's right.
Turning up on a Saturday night.
We do.
What I wanted to know is, and you probably touched on this on your own pod already, but the Lefty's comments regarding him if he had a daughter, him not wanting her to have if she brought a black dude home, he would be pissed.
Completely horrible words that he said as far as what he used. I'm hoping that he was thinking more of the end of, I don't want my daughter dating a gangbanger. I don't want my daughter dating a black gangbanger. That's just the way I don't want my daughter dating an SA gangbanger. But the way you say it, it's like, homie, you are a rapper.
Yeah.
You have a grill.
Yeah.
You pretty much sound like a brother a lot of times. You ain't saying, hey, Holmes, hey, say, hey, this, say that. And I'm sure you say the N-word behind the scenes, right? So to sit there and to tell a whole community, I wouldn't. I think it was just very poor choice of words, right?
Well, and the thing about Lefty that's interesting is he actually, he says that he chooses to not say the N-word because it was originally a word used to oppress other people, so he don't fuck with that. Which, I respect him for that. Like, I respect that mind state, I should say.
But when it comes to that, and I especially have a strong feeling about it because my granddaughter's biracial, bro. My son-in-law is a black man, homie. Right. And ever since my daughter was a kid, somebody says, oh, Gil, you feel that way. No. Ever since my daughter was a child and my wife and I raised her, right? Raised her 2 kids. Race was never an issue. It was never. When I grew up, it was. When I grew up, it was, it was Moreno, but a certain different phrase. It was. That was just the life. Yep. But I refuse to have my daughter have that hate and bias that I had at some point, right? So when my daughter, her man came ask for a hand in marriage, you know what? My wife and I never had that discussion. My brother-in-laws, nobody even had discussion like, what? She's with a Moreno? So when I was hearing Lefty, I'm like, homie, this is 2024. This ain't the 90s, but a lot of people try to do that. Oh, the 90s. Yeah, it just sounds good, bro. But I think he was probably trying to sound gangster with it, but in reality, it's like, nah, homie.
Well, also, Highland Park, Baldwin Park, and the whole SUV, it's way more racially segregated.
Well, there's not even no black gangs over there.
That's what I'm saying.
No, but to me, that's not necessarily segregated because in North Hollywood, there's no black gangs. I think there was one. So in other words, we wouldn't even see where you would get it is in jail. That's where you'll feel that certain kind of way.
Sure.
And I get it, bro. And I get it. But it would be like imagine a country singer saying, "I'll never let my daughter marry a white guy."
Right.
He called me like, what? All right? Or a basketball player saying the same, I won't let my daughter marry a black guy. Like, homie, you in hip-hop, carnal. Like,
right.
And again, choosing your words correctly, homie.
So you're close with your son-in-law?
Absolutely, brother. We're going to go spend some time with him tomorrow. It's my granddaughter's birthday. We're going to spend some time with them. Brother, it has never been an issue. It just hasn't. My granddaughter is beautiful. She just, biracial kid, beautiful. And I met the family. His father's a cool guy. They're retired. It's it's life, brother. This is America. Like this ain't, like I said, this ain't Mississippi in the '60s, homie.
Right.
We're in 2024.
I think that's I mean, if American Cholo feels that way, you feel me, and you're able to evolve past that,
Of
I think
course.
that should be an indication of where society should be at with this.
Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And look at it, like all of. Like,
I don't think Lefty had any hate in his
no,
heart
I
when he
don't.
said
Like I
it
said,
either,
it's
though.
choosing your words correctly. That's all I'm saying. I don't think so. I don't think Lefty. I think it was more like he just kind of felt himself was on a gangster tip. Like, oh hell no, homie, we don't do that. Like,
Or that's just like
talking acelerado.
yeah,
Talking
sí, güey.
yeah.
Exactamente, sí. Like,
Talking acelerado,
yeah,
not thinking
hell
what he
no.
said. He thought he was sounding cool or something.
yeah, bro. I think that's all it was, homie. Like, I think Swifty one time talking about, oh, I'm fucking. I was what do you say? What is it when you go to jail so many times and you start
Institutionalized.
institutionalized?
Yeah.
Like, fool, you've been there for like fucking 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Come on, carnal. Talk to me when you did like 10 or 20 years. Then you could. But it's just sometimes off the rip, it sounds cool as fuck, and they're going. And that's what happened. I think he
I
was.
still piss sitting down.
Yeah. I think he was saying that. Anybody that knows Lefty Gunplay, I believe, knows he's not a racist. He's not that. He's
definitely.
just.
I mean, he's got Draco the ruler of lyrics down on his face.
But it will be a learning lesson for him.
No.
It will be a learning lesson for him for next time, I believe, because, or maybe as his daughter gets older, he's gonna realize that, hey, bro, to me it's this. I don't care what color you are, as long as you treat my daughter correctly and respectfully, and treat my family. It's all love, homie.
I took it as him saying, like, this is a problem. Like, yeah, like that he felt that way, but this is a problem, and that's not right. So I kind of saw him trying to, like, shed light on the era of his own.
Yeah, but the era
brainwashing.
of these young guys, it's not like that, bro.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's gangs that beat. Yeah, there always is, but. In the county jail, the homies, it's a different world, bro. It's a different and that part, it's good.
Now there's these girls there.
Oh God,
you seen them? What
I
are they
just
called?
saw
the
that.
Two-tone twins.
Yeah.
Which ones?
Yeah.
And they have a song. I'm not going to say the name of the song, but it's a phrase.
Them.
Yeah. Basically, they have a song that says that's named after them being, the Rasa females that like black dudes.
May.
What was your thoughts when you saw that video? Is this like I see where they're going with it.
I see where they're going with it, but I think people are going to get very disrespected by the phrase they're using.
Yeah,
because that would be the same thing as let's say two female African Americans saying, it's almost like saying I'm a spick lover,
right,
or I'm a wetback lover,
right.
or I'm a beaner lover.
That's exactly essentially what it is.
That and I think that's where, to me, I wouldn't have, but that's them. Let them do it. Let them get their traction, because they're not meaning it in that way. They're meaning, in other words, fuck you. Yeah. So what if I fuck around with black guys?
Yeah.
Fuck you. Right. But let's see if they get embraced that way.
They're actually talented girls, like, you know what I mean. But like, yeah, I think that could be inviting some.
But that's the drama that'll sell their shit and have people watch. I mean, they might end up getting beat up somewhere one day, or who knows? That's the thing. You gotta watch your words sometimes, homeboy.
These kids need victory outreach. I don't know.
They need Jesus, homie. I think you need Jesus.
I might. Gil, thank you so much.
Oh man, my pleasure, man.
For turning up on a Saturday night.
Thank you, Rick. Hey, tell your homie that met up with me that day in San Fernando. He's the one that hooked us
saying
together.
he's watching
There
right now.
you go, homie. He's the one that put it together. He walked up to me, hit me up. I said, yeah, let's do it. Give me your number real quick. And a week later, homie.
No, he's a good homie, dog.
That's right.
He's a real good homie. He's always looking out for the studio.
That's my Carnal saying right there. But
Fool,
we appreciate you pulling up.
Anytime, brother.
Open invite. We'd love to have you weighing in. And
as long as you come on time next time, fool.
Yeah.
I'm over here.
5 minutes late.
I'm over here rushing my wife. She forgot her phone.
Oh,
right? And then this fool's not here. I'm like, wait.
See how your actions affect other people?
5 minutes late.
You gotta be here 30 minutes early, homie.
Right.
You are the
You're
podcaster.
Right. You right.
Fucking Lush.
Yeah, fucking hey, homie. But it's all love, man. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate everybody out there who's
appreciate you
watching.
for pulling up,
Whether
dog.
you agree or disagree with me, my thing is we can have that conversation. You guys can, you guys know what it is, man. Check me out on YouTube, American Cholo, and the message keeps going, homeboy. Appreciate you guys.
Hell yeah.
Y'all be smooth.
My police fucking glasses, carnal. Nothing major.
He said
Like,
police.
subscribe, comment, tell us what you think, man. We're here with Gil American Cholo, man. It's been a good episode, man. Big Rick in the building, man. Lush One, man. We out of here.